Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Games Done Quick Hot Fix. This is What's Faster. I am not your normal host. Unfortunately, she's not able to be here today, so I am filling in for you. Just a few quick announcements before we get into our show. Frost Fatale's 2023 prize submissions are open from now until February 20th. Almost said October. That would not have been correct. Go to gamesdonequick.com for more information or use exclamation prizes in Twitch chat to submit your prizes. As well, we have Unapologetically Black and Fast coming up. That's going to be February 11th and 12th. Celebrate Black Excellence and Speedrunning coming up this month. You can use exclamation UBAF in Twitch chat for more information. All that said, we have a great show for you tonight. We've got Yakuza 2 and Yakuza 3. I'm joined by some wonderful people here. Why don't you introduce yourselves?
Do you want to go first, Tap?
Nope, you do it.
Okay, cool. I'm Prib. You saw me 2 days ago if you're watching Hotfix doing Yakuza Dead Souls of all games. This is OG2, not K2, which you'll have seen previously. It's very different, and you'll see why.
I'm Tapioca. I've been running these games for years. Frub's also been running these games for years. And I'm playing Yakuza 3, which everyone hates for some reason. Something about blocking? I don't know. We'll probably get into that.
I guess... Oh, sorry, go on.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
I was going to say, before the run begins, because I'm probably going to have to do something quite early on here, both of us require very, very big RNG during the run. Tap has to do a gamble to be able to continue their run. I have to get a specific item drop from a specific fight spawn that doesn't necessarily always spawn in, so I've got a safety save for that just in case it happens within the first 4 minutes. So I'll probably have to explain that when we get there, but just bear that in mind.
Is there anything else you two want to cover before we start, or do you want to just get into it?
I guess I'll mention real quick that I'm playing the PC version of the game specifically. Frub is playing the HD PS3 version of Yakuza 2. That's the fastest version of Yakuza 2. The PC version of 3 that I'm playing is actually garbage and about 2 minutes slower than playing on PS4. But just to try to even the odds a little bit, I am playing the garbagey PC version.
Very kind of you. All right, if that's all y'all have, I can give a countdown whenever you're ready.
Sure.
Sounds good.
All right. From 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh man, I just realized because of that stupid bell, my menus are going to be all screwed up this entire run. Excellent. Excellent. Thank you, Q-Lock, for the bell.
Oh no, I forgot about that. For those who don't know, with certain Yakuza games, if you have older Yakuza save files, you get free items. We don't allow them because, one, technically they're DLC, and two, they're actually kind of bad. But yeah, we should both be starting off in a wonderful place we like to call the graveyard. In a couple of Yakuza games, you start off, especially the early ones, you start off in the graveyard.
I think it's just these two.
Yeah,
I don't think you ever see the graveyard again.
True.
But we ought to both be in it right now, right?
LAD has one in Chapter 2, just not at the start.
Not that graveyard, though.
Yeah. But yeah, we like to call Yakuza 2, both K2 and OG2, just like Graveyard Reset, because we have to keep coming back to the graveyard. So every single Yakuza game has a couple of tutorials for stuff. Mine are going to occur slightly bit faster than Tap's, where we just got to punch people. That's the easy summation of mine.
I'm out of there, though. Enjoy your tutorial.
How do I hit 2 enemies with this lantern and it only counts once? Excuse me?
Welcome to Yakuza 2. Oh, man. Meanwhile, the start of 3 is just endless cutscenes and walking. I should mention, by the way, in my game, I'm currently staring at the floor. I'm going to be doing this for the entire game because it reduces pedestrian density. If I weren't staring at the floor, there would be like literal waves of dudes running at me and I'd just be bouncing off of them. It would be really, really slow.
Yeah, the remasters are really worse for that as well because of the better hardware. It spawns
There's just even more. They cover the whole street. There's just like a wall of them.
Right, for this run that I'm doing real quick, I've got to watch out for one NPC because they're a fight spawn and they're not the fight spawn we want.
Right, I am entering my first tutorial of several.
Oh, there's that NPC, that guy right there. He could actually spawn on top of me when I come out of this next fight, so I have to be careful.
Oh yeah, black sweatshirt guy.
Yep.
Yep. Man, it's gonna be really disorienting, like hearing someone talk about a completely different Yakuza game.
Especially when we both know the routes for each game really well.
I was thinking about this before. So we both speedrun both of these games and have for a long time. Have you ever had 3 record though?
I don't think so. If I have, it would have been at the very, very beginning, like once. But I think after that, you basically dominated that for ages until PLA came along. And Rebel.
Shoutouts to Rebel Dragon, 95. I think his number is 95. It is.
Close enough. So on this next screen, if there is a fight spawn here, I will be taking it because there is. Hello. This fight spawn right here has a 1 in 5 chance of dropping a weapon called the Brass Knuckles, which is what I really want. And if not, I'm going to be doing a safety save because there's a lot of things in the first kind of like 3 chapters, that require us to actually need these Brass Knuckles. It is, yeah.
Let's go.
In it right now. It's an exceptionally rare chance to get these.
Dude, if it's Knuckles, I swear to God, rip.
7,000 yen.
Damn.
So I'm going to run forward to where I've made the safety save, so I don't obviously like cheat and like jump forward a little bit, but you'll see that at this point we should have that weapon, and then we'll go to the save point here, at which point I'm going to go back to the title screen and load up so that I magically have a pair of Brass Knuckles. Wow. Excellent.
Yeah, overall, the Brass Knuckles odds in Yakuza 2 are like about 1 in 8. 50-50 get the encounter, and then 1 in 4 to get the Knuckles. So Froob could literally be resetting here for like 2 hours to start one run if we didn't allow a safety save.
Yeah.
I have a similar thing that's going to happen to me about an hour and a half into the run. I will not be allowing myself a safety save for that. So we will see if I end up resetting that a whole bunch. Hopefully not.
Yeah, with all your blackjack luck lately, I hope that you don't get resets. I hope you get it first try.
Yeah, just for reference, I don't know. I guess you guys are betting channel points on this. I am like 0 for 3 on blackjack in my recent runs. I'm on a legendary bad RNG streak in this game. I'm sorry to anyone who bet on me.
Yeah, there's a bunch of things that can happen in this. I still can't beat the final boss without dying at least once, so bear that in mind.
Come on. Come on, this is what I mean, dude. This is awful tutorial luck. They don't want to attack me.
I had the double triples, no. It was almost a really good tutorial. Ah, it's a shame. Oh. Even with the actual loaded save, my time for chapter 1 now right now actually isn't that bad.
My tutorial 1 was actually pretty much perfect, and then 2 has been crap so far. I would reset this in a PB attempt.
Yeah, but for some reason, for those who are paying attention to Yakuza 3 right now, Tap has to redo a certain tutorial in the second tutorial that they had to do in the first one, and it's really weird.
Yep, currently doing those. Oh, okay, now I got the bikes.
Oh, this is a nice corner.
What are you doing? Why are you over here? Where'd my second bike go? This is a mess. Everyone's dead except for Red Pants Guy. Jeez. Oh no. This is such a mess.
Can't I have that when I'm going for PB attempts?
That didn't even hit him. Oh my god. Jeez.
Alright, so I'm going up against the first boss, Daigo Dojima. We're going to perform what we call gut punch buffering, where we buff rag gut punches to stop Daigo doing feel the heat. I have not done this successfully. Stop that. I have not done this successfully in a very, very long time. So I'm just going to mute my microphone just in case, because I get very mad at this at the moment.
Just like press the button.
Somehow, I did not mess up the Daigo Dojima fight.
Hey. I'm just about to head into my Majima 1.
Good luck. Majima 1 is a bit of a nasty boss for Yakuza 3.
Yeah, Yakuza 3 has some interesting strats. This is actually probably the least consistent boss in the entire game. It's so early in the game that we can't really collect weapons to cheese him with, so this is one of the only bosses we have to fight hand-to-hand. There's some AI manipulation we do to Majima, though. You'll see it in a second, but whenever you grab an enemy, if they haven't done any actions since they last stood up, they won't let you grab them. And in the case of Majima, he'll actually do this whole laugh animation when he breaks away from a grab, like right there. And that laugh animation lets us do a full combo to his face that he won't block. So we're just trying to sort of do these gut punches and then knock him down with that. And then once he stands back up, we can grab him to get the laugh. Halfway through the fight, he's gonna stop doing these laughs. And at that point, we're gonna have to just do the rest of the fight in whatever way we can, I guess. Oh, that's really bad. He's leaving the corner.
Ugh.
Do not like this. That means this is... I'm just going to cause feel the heat, to be honest.
Yeah. Sometimes that's actually just the
okay,
best
no,
course
we're
of
doing
action.
back kicks. Dude, these combos are not connecting. We're just feeling the heat. If you get a really good Majima 1, you can actually skip this feel the heat. Halfway through the fight, you would switch to using back kicks instead of gut punches. But that's really hard to do, and Majima refuses to stay in my corner. So, just gonna have to do it like this. There he goes. Very Garbo.
That's a preface, by the way. I've only had 3 hours sleep going into today, so I've done the British thing of just drink tea. Lots of tea. At some point, my energy levels are going to crash.
I'm bribing myself to get through this run with a pizza.
Oh,
That's my strat.
nice. It's funny because like we're both racing, but I actually want Tap to do really well. I genuinely want Tap to do really well after the last couple of days.
Well, there's going to be breaks, but you were overdue for a PB, I feel, in OG2.
If I could stop dying to Ryuji, I will save a minute.
Like with the new route thing with the Knuckles.
It's really good. It's really, really good.
I can't believe they were just lying to us about the Knuckles damage the entire time.
Yeah, we'll describe this a bit later on in more detail. We found out that Yakuza 2's like definition of damage isn't exactly real when it comes to certain weapons.
Yeah, like Yakuza 2, you use brass knuckles for pretty much the whole run, and the damage number on the brass knuckles just doesn't mean anything. Like on other weapons, you know, the damage is the damage. It means something. But on Knuckles, it's just a totally meaningless number. All Knuckles do the same amount of damage. And we just didn't know that for like, how old is that game? 17 years old?
Yeah, something like that. We've had a couple of like newer runners into OG2 recently, which is why we're getting like this just a whole bunch of new information. Big No-No, who ran K1 recently at AGDQ, was doing a bunch of like science and actually noticed a couple of like really cool things. Because the brass knuckles are only on Kiryu's right hand, the extra brass knuckle damage only applies when you do a right punch. But as Tap was saying earlier, for some reason the damage value that you get from different weapons doesn't really apply to these knuckles. It's so bizarre.
Don't tell anyone, but I'm cheating in my speedrun and selling the bell. This is going to make the menus consistent.
I remember when I got so mad at like the PC version of Yakuza 4 and I was like, can we just sell these? they only give us 50
It's 50 yen. It doesn't affect anything. Although you will see the money route in this game is incredibly tight. At one point we will have, I think like 290 yen is the lowest amount we get to.
Yep.
You get really rich, then really poor, then really rich again, then really poor again.
You also need a PhD in math for the finale.
Yeah, we'll get to that. The math PhD. Anyway, here's my second boss. I am fighting Rikia. This game as a physics engine, believe it or not. They added these crazy-ass physics. And it turns out that signs bouncing off of walls, or really any physics objects bouncing off the walls, does tons of extra damage. So I was hoping that those 2 red signs didn't just instantly fly out of the corner, but they did. So that's really cool. I'm just going to be doing the rest of the Rikia fight manually. We can sort of catch him with these gut punches as he stands up. The reason why we didn't do this to Majima 1 is because of that attack where he like spins as he's getting up. That would prevent us from doing it. But Rikia has no such move, so we can just do that and keep him comboed the entire fight. You can do that to every boss in the game, but for the most part, we'll have guns and things like that, so we won't need to. That was the original strat, though. We used to just literally gut punch combo every boss in the game, and it was like a 2.5 hour long run.
Yeah. And I'm about to start Chapter 3's Omi HQ, which is consistently a hard set piece, unfortunately. For most of my fights at the start here, I'm going to be hoping to just get multi-punches on these enemies. Nice. I need a 1. First phase, not great. In this second phase, there's going to be a bunch of enemies that have more HP than the Gut Punch does, so I'll have to do like a 3-hit combo instead. As you can see, like that guy does have more, but if I can get him with a Gut Punch, I can usually get another enemy as well.
Yo, I got the 5th Rikia wall. Let's go. Run is blessed.
Nice.
I think you can only do that on PC. I've been trying for like a week, and I've never gotten it on console. It doesn't mean anything, by the way. I'm just joking. It's just one of those like meaningless things you fixate on when you've been running a game too much. You start to notice like individual voice lines that sound kind of funny, or like a weird sign in the background. For me, it's bullying Mikio when we're waiting for Rikia to show up at that building.
Ooh, nice uppercut. Alright, so in this next bit, there is only one enemy that I have to beat. I'm waiting for him to spawn, but if I move too far forward, he's going to spawn behind me, which is further away. So we're waiting back here for not this guy, not that guy, that guy. Which if I can get him here, that's right next to the door. That's really good. You can't grab anybody when you're wearing the knuckles as well, so you have to take them off. We're taking them off at like specific points here for reasons. Here in this next room, I need a weapon for the boss of this chapter, and thankfully, just this lovely guy over here is going to give me a baseball bat. If he doesn't walk away, then I don't get grabbed. Oh, you what? Okay, sure. I'm dying in chapter 3. Please help. It's happening again.
I'm sorry, I tried to give you the good RNG. It's my fault.
Okay, that was a good recovery. So this is going to be the nasty part. I have to run through a couple of corridors. There's a bunch of enemies that throw knives. They're annoying. That's it. There's going to be a couple of guys with sofas as well. And the reason why we have the knuckles is so that we can do a specific heat action against them. No, stop that. This one. If you accidentally mess up and do a kick like that, you can spam heat to be able to do the heat attack if you still have your heat. This is something that we'll be utilizing later on in the run to hopefully keep the amount of knuckle durability I've got. If you look at the top right, you'll see it like says the number 5, and you might be confused and think, oh, that durability isn't going down. The way that Knuckles works in the original games is different. The durability will go down when I use its special ability, which we like to call spinning because we spin, but also when we guard attacks. So we are not going to be guarding during this run. So I'm going to take everything to the face, like that.
Are you about to start fighting? Are you about to start fighting UG1?
Nah, I'm in the room with the dudes.
Oh, the room with the dudes, of course.
Yeah, that's
of course, that room.
Yeah.
I literally do know what room you're talking about, though. Because I am heading into golf. Because Yakuza 3 is going to force me to play 3 holes of golf. So, if you want to run this game, you have to be an action game speedrunner and a golf speedrunner. This golf is pretty crap overall if you're looking to speedrun it. The scaling of the bars is just all over the place, and the wind is mess. The wind's a big mess. We got 4.7 forward here, which is... I'm not going to adjust my setup for that.
Worst, but it's not great. The wind is complete RNG, by the way. You can have up to like 9. It's ridiculous.
So basically for each of the 3 holes, I have a setup that gets me pretty close to the hole.
How did you grab me?
And I just use the setup as necessary, and adjust as necessary, I should say. So because of the 4.7 forward, that was bad, and I probably should have done something about it, but I didn't. Oh my god, that was sick. So that was actually such an insane putt that I got an unskippable like replay of it, which is not fast. I can't believe that went in. So I actually kind of just recovered that into a decent hole.
Leave me alone.
9.5 down. What the hell is that? Oh my god.
There you go. See, bad wind.
Okay, we're going max power. That's sketchy. Yeah, all the way over here. Terrible. Thanks Yakuza. We're gonna go like a bar and a half of power. It was way too much.
I don't
way
have
too
full
much
heat
power.
for Ryuji. Uh-oh.
For reference, the max amount of wind is 10. So 9.5 is pretty much the worst you could possibly get. That is not good.
So this is Ryuji. I need to build up enough heat with... Oh god. Yeah, those 2 hits. Oh, how did that not work?
Perfect.
The spam method has let me down. It did not actually work for once.
Oh no.
Alright, salvage,
All right.
that's fine.
Check this. Putting from the rough. Oh, that was way too much. Shoot, never mind. Usually that puts you right next to the hole. I think I was a bit not quite as far back as I could have been. Never mind. I'm like, all right, everyone watch this. And then I totally screw it up. This is still going to be decent, though. This is a decent golf. We can just mash to get this in at the end. I'm shooting for 3 strokes on every hole, but 2, 3, 4 is like, that was honestly pretty solid.
Oh, if anyone's wondering, you don't have to win the golf. The AI is also, the opponent AI is also rigged to perform, like, well on some holes and not well on the last hole.
Yeah, the AI does the exact same things, totally, ignores the wind, same exact hits, so we only lose time to our own gameplay there.
That guy is a literal tass at golf.
Literal task who gets a bogey on the 3rd hole. He's just not even aiming in the right direction. It's like 90 degrees off to the side on one of his putts. It's embarrassing.
I'm just glad I didn't die in Chapter 3. That was actually genuinely close. This game has been giving me so many problems lately. I'm just relieved when I don't die. Now, if the video game would like to not soft lock, I'd appreciate that. This game, so we were saying the other day during the Yakuza Dead Souls run, a certain runner who shall not be named Cross Street, that guy, decided to put an SSD in their PS3. So we all had to kind of follow suit. And since we put SSDs into our PS3s, OG2 has been soft locking more. We have no idea why. I think it's something to do with like the scene changes, like this one here. I've had it in multiple places, including places that other runners haven't had it, and if it happens, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, Yakuza 2 has a weird bug where sometimes you just instantly clip through the floor and fall into the void.
Makes a really nasty sound when that happens, yeah, because if it happens,
sometimes.
you're gonna know. Also, I'm gonna be a pain in the backside. Walk into this man, he's gonna give me 100,000 yen. Like, thanks, I guess. And I'm gonna go shopping in Don Quixote. I'm gonna buy some underwear. Genuinely. It's not for me. 2 for 8. One of you. And some beer!
Yeah, that whole section of Yakuza 2 is on a timer while Froob waits for a phone call. So he's just going around collecting locker keys and things like that since it's kind of a free time to do it.
Yeah, it's if you saw a K2 run, it's similar to that, but the shopping list is completely different. We can also get the items that you can't get in K2 until Chapter 5. We can get them now. So we can get the underwear and the beer now, and we can get the bandages early as well. I'm just going to go to Club Sega and try not to talk to a guy who can't get in a toilet. I don't know why his hitbox is bigger than the locker keys. For these items I'm picking up as well, these locker keys, the lockers contain a whole bunch of items. For the run, the ones that I'm picking up now, we're not actually going to get until Chapter 12. Oh, no. Almost walked into the car on the bridge. Yeah, so we'll describe the locker key stuff later on when it's necessary, but The fight spawns in Yakuza 2, I guess I'll mention real quick. And it's actually, I think it's the same for Yakuza 3. They spawn in the exact same locations, but it's random whether or not they spawn in or not. Go and speak to the guy.
Really exciting gameplay for both of us right now, I think. We're just literally walking around talking to people and picking things up.
It's very important, honestly.
There's 3 chapters in this game devoted to just Kiryu becoming the ultimate dad. To go around and do dad things. Right now I'm finding some missing money or something. This kid stole the money.
Yeah, I genuinely like those moments. Like they might be a bit quieter than most Yakuza games, but that's kind of why I like them. You get to see like the parts of Kiryu you don't usually see. Could have been paced a bit better though.
Yeah, the early game having like a 45-minute plot nonsense bomb where you just do stuff for kids. Maybe not the best thing to put right up front.
Yeah. These 2 lockers that I'm opening right now, these are important. One of them is an item called the Scan the Water. We'll get back to me in about an hour and a half and we'll describe that one. The other one is a DVD. I think it's like an action DVD. We're going to go watch that right now so that it will help us with our heat and our heat attacks coming up.
Yeah, there's some kind of action happening on that DVD. I guess you're right in that sense.
Yeah. There is a fight spawn on this road, but it's on the right-hand side, and it won't get to us on this route, so we can just go here, and then as soon as we're out, just go to the other side. Make sure we pick the right DVD. And then, as soon as we're out of here, when we get back to the bar, we got about a 20-second waiting moment if we've had good movement. Sorry, lady.
I'm almost ready to return to actually doing gameplay. Just a few more cutscenes.
So if you look at that guy on the right-hand side, for instance, who's looking around, that's not a guaranteed fight spawn. That's one of those fight spawns we're talking about. So if you know how to recognize them, it's quite easy to see which ones they are. Okay, my phone call in about 5 seconds, and then we get to do Jackass Kiryu strats. They're great. OG2 exclusive speed tech.
Alright, time to pray for no encounter. There's a potential encounter spawn guarding the alleyway I need to walk down. And if he's there, he's very hard to avoid. And even if you avoid him, you lose a bunch of time to doing it.
That doggo?
Let's see what we got. No, not dog. Going to the Rito family headquarters.
Oh,
yep, he's there.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna take the fight. Honestly, this isn't that much slower.
Yeah, that guy.
He's gonna take the
guy's
fight.
Frustrating. You can avoid him on the way out. On the way in, it's a lot harder. You have to like kind of drag him out.
This is the sort of RNG that Froob is hoping for this race, I think.
Yeah, my screen's gonna look a bit weird here. It's gonna look like I've decided to stop playing the game because I'm gonna speak to this guy like 15 times. This is speed tech. If we talk to this guy 15 times, he's gonna get mad at me and then I'm gonna get to punch him. This saves like a 3-minute back and forth. Like, this is really good. This isn't available in K2, by the way. We tried a lot to get this to work in K2, but they took it out of K2 because they want you to do the back and forth fetch quest where you go get Junka's cat back. But in this game, if we just keep talking to him, as you'll see, he gets really mad and I'm going to punch him. And then we just get to go inside. There we go. And this is where the knuckles go back on. Gut punch into full combo takes care of him, which is nice. If you were to gut punch, he would be alive by like 2 hits. Just gets us straight inside. For K2 as well, fun fact, you can't skip that bit in K2. This bit you can skip in K2 because if we have 300,000 yen, which is very easy to get in K2, then we can skip this next part. But we don't have that luxury in OG2 because we don't have easy access to money. So in OG2, we skip that bit, but we can't skip the next bit. Whereas K2, we can't skip that bit, but we can skip the next bit. So over both OG2 and K2, you get to see the entirety of this chapter. It's pretty cool. I like that a lot.
Almost there. I've almost gotten to the gameplay. Oh no, this encounter sucks. Okay, good, he didn't see me. That's usually safe, but then sometimes he just sees you anyway when you do that, and I don't know the difference. It's great. This fight is required. This is not an encounter. This is the actual gameplay. We're back.
Is that the one outside the M store?
Nope.
Old friend
Not gonna get any exciting sign action, I guess. No, wrong dude. This, man, every fight is going so bad today. This is not the day for Yakuza 3. How did that guy even get stomped?
I know we were joking about it before, but I really didn't think my RNG would be this bad for you two.
This is a mess.
Mine was bad earlier. It's not too bad at the moment.
I'm gonna bling PC version, honestly. I'm just gonna say that.
Hey, note to self, when you're back here later, idiot, don't take this angle again. Thanks.
So we're heading into the first set piece in a second here. I'm getting 2 tech level ups, which gets me quick recovery if I get knocked down, and also gets me faster combo speed. And I equipped 3 baseball bats that I bought back in Chapter 2, which is when I also sold the 2 stamina X's that you get in Chapter 1, and also the bell, because I'm a cheater. And these baseball bats are pretty much going to power most of the early and mid-game fights before we get guns. The bats, you'll see them in a second. They've got a very good attack that just kind of cheeses everything in Yakuza 3 and 4.
Also, if you're fans of Mahjong, look away from my footage right now. I'm about to commit sacrilegious acts in this Mahjong parlor.
Don't you dare kick that table.
I'd have to. It's good damage. It's good damage. Mirasaki.
Yeah, in Yakuza 2, if you kick furniture at people, the furniture barely moves, but it does insane damage. It just one-shots most normal enemies.
That poor table.
Go through the first table and hit the second and kill that guy. What was that? That was good. What was
Yakuza 2
that?
physics.
Cool. Can I get that in my PB attempts? Also, we haven't unfortunately seen a great NPC yet. OG1 and 2 contain a very special NPC that never left the OG games. We call him the Fart Jacket guy, because the back of his jacket literally says the word fart. So I hope he turns up. Yeah, that was so good that was a gold split for me. Damn. Nice.
I'm just moving through this. Aside from the first group of enemies and the last group of enemies, everyone in these hallways can just be ignored. I'm also making a point of not picking up any of those items that are on the ground, because if I did, I would just have to sell them later. It would just take up inventory space that I need for other things.
Note to self, go to Tojo HQ, don't go to Purgatory this time. Thank you. I want to go see my old friend Kamaki.
Nope. Don't pick up that. All right, it is bat time. So we'll
chat,
see if I get lucky
oh,
here. Oh, no, go for it. Go for it.
I was just going to say, chat, if you hear me call myself an idiot, it's because there are route changes. I'm trying to remember them. And if I call myself an idiot, I remember them easier for some reason.
That was super lucky. So that's why bats are good. Just wreck everybody in the room with one swing.
Yeah, I thought if we want to talk about bats between 3 and 4, because on 4 they lock onto enemies, but in 3 they don't like fully lock onto enemies. They kind of lock you into a direction. So it's a lot harder to wield the bat swings.
I made this mistake yesterday as well. Man, Tamashiro. We really want Tamashiro to be in this corner because it's the only safe place in the room to do the fight where the bat won't get screwed up. I did not mean to break that bat on him though. So we're going to be short a little bit of damage.
Tamashiro is a very hard fight, both casually in that game and in the speedrun. If you drop Tamashiro, then you can have a really nasty time. Because what Tap's trying to do is avoid the Feel the Heats as well at this point. We can't avoid the Majima one too well, but we can avoid pretty much every other one.
Well, this one I'm going to intentionally take. Tamashiro has some weird mechanics to him. He's got this whole second phase he's going to go into. I'm trying to get him to his Feel the Heat on purpose, because after his Feel the Heat, he'll take out his Brass Knuckles. And when he takes out the Brass Knuckles, he won't block a combo that I do to him. So right here, I'm going to let him stand up on purpose and then punch so that I get this. And then coming immediately out of this, you'll see I can just combo his face to kill him instantly. We wouldn't have had to do all of those extra combos if I had gotten the first bat to land, though. So that was a little unfortunate. Actually, we've over-damaged him as well. This combo is going to do a bit more than I need it to. There's some guys in suits. Goodbye. See you in the finale, Daigo.
I'm about to
fun fact, by the way.
Oh, go on. Sorry.
So in Yakuza 3, in most Yakuza games, all of them except for the first one, if you hold R1 plus X, it skips all the text fast. But in Yakuza 3 and 4, during voiced phone calls like this one, it's actually faster to mash the X button instead because they screwed up how auto advance works. So for a couple of different cutscenes in the game, I just have to mash X through them like that. Sorry, what were you going to say?
I was just fighting Gun Guy. All I was going to say is Gun Guys are some of the worst enemies in OG Yakuza 2. You'll see why later. That looked like a very simple fight. It was. The next time we get gun enemies, it won't be. Yeah. But the beer and the alcohol, the beer and the underwear we picked up earlier is for Kaoru here. So because we can buy it early in OG2, I don't have to go to Don Quixote right now. I can just leave. And I can test to see whether there's a fight spawn on Tenkaichi, which there isn't. And Tenkaichi vlog has been really good lately. So I get to cut corners here. If you're wondering why the vending machine is unapologetically British and says your mum, it's actually Moo Moo, but for some reason they reversed the texture, so it just says your mum instead of Moo Moo.
Some of them do say Moo Moo. There's Umums and Moo Moos.
There's a Moo Moo in the Daigo fight.
Yeah, Daigo has a Moo Moo. There's like one other, maybe? I think in, no, the batting center is an Umum. I don't remember. These are the things you focus on when you play the game too much. Seriously, the incorrect text on the vending machine in the background.
Yeah. I go next to that truck because there was a fight spawn I just pushed out of the way. And now I'm going to have to avoid, to save a little bit of time in this chapter, I'm going to have to try and avoid one NPC who tries to speak to us. He's reasonably easy to avoid, but the camera is going to change direction. We won't be able to see, like, actually where we are. So it takes a little while to get used to this movement, but once you get used to it, it's actually not too bad. I went too far, but he's stuck on the railing, so it doesn't matter.
I'm going the wrong way, this way. That guy's not an encounter, but he sure looked like one. Thanks for spooking me, guy in a black t-shirt.
Alright, so I have to take off my brass knuckles here because K2 allows you to cheat in this bit. OG2 does not. You've already seen Majima on Tap's side of the run, and you're about to see PS2 era Majima. He is real, and he will hurt my run if I don't do this fight properly. But every Yakuza game usually has, or most Yakuza games usually have some form of Colosseum. This is 2's. It's very, very different in 2 to K2, because in K2, we are very overpowered because we can take our own weapons in. OG2 is not going to allow us to take our own weapons in, but they are going to supply us with their very own brand of brass knuckles.
They take your knuckles away and then just give you identical knuckles. Yeah. It's very nice of them. It's almost like they knew.
Note to self, don't forget the locker key. But we got 3 fights in here. 2 of the enemies in the Colosseum are going to be pretty obvious. The hardest fight is actually this first one. This is the Squeever. So we're going to be doing a specific combo. We want the gut punch to land on the Squeever, not for him to like break his guard on it, so that he does a specific attack where I can do this uppercut, which has enough iframes to just go through that attack. The timing on it is a little rough at first, but it's not too bad when you get used to it. Just don't drop the combo like I usually do. Good fight. Fight number 2 is a good old friend, Gary Buster Holmes. And Gary in this game is nice and simple. We actually have iframes with our gut punch just at the right time. So all we're going to do to Gary is unfortunately just gut punch. Love you, Gary. Until I mess up my combo like that. That's the thing that I was worried about with the Daigo fight earlier. I don't know why this keeps happening to me, but it keeps happening.
To appease the dog, I have to talk to this M-Store employee a couple times. This is weird cheese that I won't get into, but it speeds up the entire dog section a lot to just exit and re-enter the store.
And this is a fight that most people would think would be the hardest one in Colosseum, the Majima fight. Actually, it's the easiest one, provided I don't mess up the start like I did earlier. Well, Majima. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to run up to him, use a heat attack. I'm not going to mash. He's going to stand up. I'm going to use a heat attack. I'm not going to mash. He's going to stand up. I'm going to use a heat attack. You might be seeing a pattern here. By not doing the mash, we do enough damage to the heat usage in this fight that Majima doesn't get to do anything. We don't see his long cutscenes. Nice and simple fight.
Definitely bones.
Absolutely bones. The fun facts about the items that Tap is looking at, the bones are the only one in that list that are not a physical item in the actual game. Which is why this the piece of speed tech that Tap is doing works. Tap is literally saving like a good 45 seconds here. You're also supposed to go to both shops, but for some reason the shopkeeper forgets you literally 5 seconds after seeing you.
Yeah, the same shop counts twice. And then if you pick bones again for the second option, you say, it must be bones. Wait, I already checked for that. And then it just doesn't make you get anything else, and you can just move on. And I reload the city by entering and exiting the Mahjong camp, and now the dog is mine.
Right. Decent Colosseum. Note to self, lock a key. Do not forget it. I ain't coming back here for a while, and I need it now with a new route. It's also nice because this new route actually gives us more spins. I didn't mention it earlier, but the brass knuckles and the durability, I currently only have 5 spins. For a later chapter boss, I need probably a maximum of 12. So we'll fix that in a moment. And I just have to... The NPC we avoided on the way in, I just have to avoid him on the way out. Which is a little more trickier, but isn't too bad still. There's the locker key. So this locker key gives us a set of knuckles that have 15 hits on them. And this is where initially our confusion came from, because these knuckles only give us an extra 10 strength. But as we alluded to earlier, that doesn't actually seem to be the case. It doesn't matter. So these are much quicker to get, much easier to get, and will give us a nice mid-game.
Can't believe Toshihiro Nagoshi would just lie to us like that.
I messed up my movement, but I still got it. Good.
Oh, come on. I'm literally standing too close. Give me the locker key. Thank you. Someone parked a bus in front of this store. Oh, great. That guy in the suit is an encounter spawn who's literally just guarding the store. Please don't fight me. Thank you. Yeah, there he is, seeing me as I leave.
Good chapter 5. Yeah, sure.
You're on chapter 5? I'm only on 4.
On,
this guy is gonna win.
Now.
This guy is gonna win. He's 2 chapters ahead of me. Please ignore that his game has 4 more chapters than mine.
All right, this chapter is frustrating for me. There's going to be a fight near the start, which is fine, but the second fight is really annoying. Note to self, Theatre Square. Stop going to the taxi here, please.
Cutscene is so long. Just checking Discord.
You get to do that with both of these games at certain instances because there's just a little bit of downtime.
Super serious speed game. I'm just not even looking at the screen. High skilled gameplay.
Shoutouts to Yakuza 3 dumping most of its plot in the mid-game in a chapter literally called The Plot.
Yeah. Chapter 9, The Plot.
Alright, so intentionally, as I was saying earlier, we haven't put the brass knuckles back on because in this next fight, there's a weapon that we want for the kind of mid-game coming up. But we need into this building because Daigo Dojima's gone missing again, so we gotta go find him. But this man has a baseball bat. That's my baseball bat now. I'm going to take care of him whilst he's actually still standing, so I don't have to deal with him when I'm done with this. Okay, that's a rare one. Yeah, see, that's what usually happens. Kaoru usually grabs him, not the other way around. Which, Kaoru grabbing that guy is bad, because obviously, as you saw there, he can actually, like, change positions on us, so we can't actually, like, take him out fully. But no, Kaoru just got bodied, which that's very rare. Kaoru is usually the one that demolishes everybody here. But this next chapter, this next fight is, it's the infuriating one. There's going to be two main enemies in this fight. They're the ones with the long HP bars. One guy in a blue jacket, one guy in a green shirt. We need to take care of both of them to stop the enemy from spawning in. The enemies only spawn in with like 1 HP bar, but it's really annoying because the guy in the green shirt is just going to decide to walk away. I'm going to get hit by everybody else. Kaoru's also going to take care of one enemy, but it's usually one of the enemies that only has 1 HP. So I'm going to concentrate here and make sure I can hopefully take care of this guy. That's my heat attack. Thank you. It's unfortunate. I'm just going to take care of you with this.
Anyway, baseball time for me. Golf is not the only sport I'm going to be forced to play. It is now baseball time. I have to hit 10 balls here. I cannot not swing. Like, I have to actually hit the ball or it won't count. So I do have to hit these. If you hit them normally, there will be a giant pop fly, and it's like a 5-second unskippable animation of the kids going and getting the ball. So I'm intentionally trying to swing as late as possible so that I get these kind of crappy line drives. And then as soon as the ball hits the ground, you can skip ahead to the next pitch. So this is the fastest way to do baseball. Just intentionally suck at it. Although, honestly, the window for hitting it correctly is way bigger, so, like, it's kind of hard to suck at baseball. It takes a bit of practice to get fully consistent at being bad at baseball in Yakuza 3.
Yeah, I think I got exceptionally lucky there. Kaoru was focused on the blue jacket guy, and he was focused on me. So we all just congregated in one corner. I was able to take the both of them out, and we didn't get any enemy backup. Importantly, I was keeping an eye on my XP. I'm on 27 XP, which means I'm going to go get a bunch of upgrades before I start this set piece. So pop on the knuckles, and we're going to get a bunch of upgrades from the top tree here, which is our soul tree. So we're going to start regenning heat when we're on low HP. That might be a thing for later, but we also get Essence of Finisher here, which is really useful, and we do more damage when we have heat instead of when we don't have heat. And then we get to see everybody's favorite recurring enemy, the Man in Black. He's part of the Jinglon Mafia, and we're going to punch him a couple of times. It's going to be a running theme throughout this game.
Cool. There's my baseball.
You're going to have to stop dodging me, friend. It doesn't matter which corner we take out the Man in Black in this first part, because we get teleported to the next bit, which is nice. But missing those 2 attacks isn't super great. Ooh, he's behaving. Nice. Weirdly, compared to K2, we have to run down this long corridor just to get him to stand up and break the way through, whereas in K2, you just punch through yourself. So there's a couple of little, like, quality of life stuff that they changed for K2 to make things go, like, a little bit faster. You'll see a big one of those with Chapter 11, actually. Also, in K2 Speedrun, we call this gun corridor because we have to take care of the gun guys here and take one of their guns. No, OG2, we just run. It's actually kind of nice. You'll also see our first instance of shotgun enemies here. This guy. Shotguns don't do that much damage to you in this game, but they do interrupt your combos quite frequently. Ah, camera, please. Not quite as dynamic an intro as K2. The speed tech for this fight, essentially, we don't want to finish him in this corridor. If we finish him in this corridor, we get a really long cutscene. So we're going to do the usual. We're just going to gut punch him all the way down this corridor so that he ends up over there.
Just hugged the wall as I was walking down the street there to avoid a giant hitbox for causing an unskippable cutscene.
Oh, yeah.
Just a little thing. Now I have to go into the market. This is the scariest part of the early game for encounters. There are... Okay, hang on. This bus needs to move. I should be able to get in here. Yeah.
It's the king of the market. I remember that, man.
Yeah, guy right at the front of the market. That's cool. Guy at the yellow thing. Those are two pretty nasty spawns that I really hope are not there on the way out.
So I just grabbed another baseball bat. You'll see what we use those for in a bit.
All you have to do is that, and then you can leave. I think anytime I've watched someone play this game casually, they get horribly lost trying to figure out what to do in the market. Oh my god, you're kidding me.
Oh, no.
Literally, okay, Frug, you know the, like... do you even know if this is a spawn? This guy is so rare. Literally, the instant you step out of the market, like...
I've seen him.
Like that kind of inner area.
Yeah.
That guy is so rare.
I've never had it happen to me, but I've seen it.
I took one step and then he fought me. I don't know if there's anything I could have done about that. He comes from off screen too. Unbelievable.
Josh, if you could get your luck to be better for Tap, I'd appreciate that, thank you.
Quit giving me these garbage items too. Jeez. Tempered glass.
Surprised
I could just cover up. I can just cover up Tap's stream on my end, I guess. Maybe observing it is causing the bad RNG.
This is a mess.
If I'm about to get your bad RNG, I'm about to get it in a real bad way because there is a very inconsistent fight in this chapter. It's not for like a minute or two. We do have to avoid the police here to stop getting a bit of dialogue. But in OG2, the police will always spawn in the same places, so we know the route to run. The only police that's an actual problem is the last one, and if we just wait half a second, we just run past them. As long as I just cut this corner here, everything's good. So it's going to be this guy here. So I'm going to wait half a second. I'll wait a little bit longer than usual just to make sure after what happened earlier, but I think I was too close to him. This is Dokimoto. Dokimoto's clinic. It sucks. Every time we get into a fight in this place, it's the worst.
Normal things happening on screen. These QTEs are consistent.
Lockers.
So.
Lockers.
I don't even really have to pay attention.
The spare locker key that we picked up for the Knuckles... I say spare, we need it now. The locker key that we picked up for the Knuckles earlier, I could pick those up at any time when we're running past the Millennium Tower like now, so I'll probably pick it up now because I don't like this chapter too much. And then I can start spinning. I think these are like the Hercules Knuckles or something like that.
Yep, Hercules Knuckles.
Which they're supposed to have the lowest damage in the game, but like we were saying earlier, it doesn't matter. Ugh, this camera, I hate this camera angle. Also, as you probably like noticed from this game, OG 1 and 2 have like isometric camera angles. So they control kind of like not full tank, but like if you hold the direction when you like change like scenes, you still go in that direction. So we utilize that for movement. It's like here I'm holding like top left, and if I keep holding it, I'm just gonna keep going left. Like that.
I'm finally leaving Okinawa in a second here. So I'm opening up all the lockers for the locker keys that I've been picking up earlier in the chapter. These are mostly weapons that I'm going to be using. There's the double action revolver, the best weapon in the game. I'll be getting a lot of those. There's the first one. And I will be doing, hang on a sec, it is, oh, that's weird.
What?
That, and then 2 tech levels.
Oh my god, this has started terribly.
I can do nothing but apologize.
What fight are you on?
Seriously? Stop this!
Or are you doing the, yeah,
Yes.
You're doing the big boys in the doctor's office, damn.
They've grabbed me twice at the start of the fight, like in quick succession.
Excellent.
They
Please
knocked me
do
down to
more.
the
I
ground
need
and
this.
just messed me up. So the problem with the consistency of this fight is that you want to get them both in that corner, but they don't like to stay in that corner. And if you get interrupted, as you saw there, you can get grabbed and they have like multiple heat attacks that they can use against you in that corner. Thank you. Look at this setup. Isn't that a nice setup? Look at that. Beautiful.
No. I need Froob to get more bad RNG.
All right, cool.
I need to see that. I'm
Excuse,
looking.
sir. I actually don't know because I was punching him when he had
Oh
no
my
HP.
god. How?
How did he survive?
How did that feel the heat happen?
I don't know. I hate documotors. Now, PB attempt, I would reset that, but I'm actually genuinely okay with how that was pulled back because the start of that was not good.
All right. Well, time to actually do some gameplay. This is Hasebe. We'll get to him in a minute. I just got double combo finisher. This attack you're seeing me do now is the best melee attack in the game. If I don't hit enemies straight on, then it won't kill them, but I can just finish with a kick if necessary. I'm trying to avoid Hasebe until all the minions are dead. Everyone does have to die, but you'll see what we do to Hasebe. That's why I have quick recovery. One more guy, you gotta get out of here. And then for the boss himself, this is why we get the double action revolver.
I don't have
Alright, he
heat.
dead.
I don't have heat. The guy with the baseball bat keeps hitting me. Please stop.
We are now officially playing Yakuza 3. Yakuza 2, please. Bully him more. I need some time save here.
Never had the baseball bat thrown at me and bantam before. What is this?
Oh my god, yeah, he threw the baseball bat. Look at that.
We have fun with these games.
This is another mashing phone call. You can tell because it says R3 autoplay in the corner of the text box because it's trying to bait you into being slow. I'm sure this looks really cool on webcam. There we go.
Oh, when I'm going down this alleyway now, I have to be very, very careful of not going to near that NPC. Her name is Granny White. In K2, you can't avoid her. In this game, you can. Use a lot of time to her if we actually do walk into her, so we're being very careful not to. Oh, no, it's Hayashi time. Oh.
What am I doing?
We're coming up on that hour mark. Right about 56 minutes. And y'all can just let me know whenever you're ready for a quick break.
Okay, I'm about to do a boss fight. After that, there's a pretty good time for a break.
I am also about to do a boss fight. Because you're doing Panda, right?
Richardson.
Oh, right. I got, obviously, Hayashi.
Yeah.
So yeah, I could stop after Hayashi.
I need to do this menu. Essence of Finishing. This is a really useful heat action, and equip a bat over the spent revolver. At least I get one menu correct. Wait, are we going to be fighting bosses at the same time then? Are you like right there?
I'm about to go into the basement of Millennium Tower, so yeah.
Okay, I'm literally like starting Richardson 1 now. So you'll just miss me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, considering the old Hayashi has like 7 HP bars.
All right, and then nope. Actually, this is okay. This is just not. We were hoping to hit some minions with the bat at the start there, as well as Richardson, but we didn't. So that's okay though. That just means this fight will be very slightly slower. It still looks like I've mostly got this under control. So we do 3 bat swings, and then we're going to finish him off with 2 shots from the expulsion that I got out of the Chapter 4 lockers. And this shotgun, or doing this strat, where we sort of use the bat and then the shotgun, is going to save us 2 uses of the expulsion, which we can then use to speed up Conda by a whole ton in the next chapter. A little bit of a slower Richardson, but it saves you like a full minute on Conda to have those 2 shots. So overall, that was actually a really good Richardson, even though I screwed it up.
Please die. Thank you. Oh, it spawned behind me. Damn it. Please don't get knocked over. Thank you. Alright. It's time for me to have some fun. This guy is called Hayashi. If you played Yakuza 1, you recognize this guy. For some reason, this game he has like 7 HP bars. First phase, nice. Second phase, oh dear. Third phase, he's actually pure evil. So I'm gonna keep gut punching him, and ideally in the second phase of the fight, I want him on this side of the room. Because as you'll see on the left there, there's those kind of like pylons. You can pick those up and use those as weapons, which will interrupt me from doing what I want to do in this fight. Phase 1's kind of nice because you just get free gut punches. The second phase will have to start buffering our gun punches to stop him from doing a specific attack. And phase 2 begins. Don't ask how he does this. No idea how. But this animation you're about to see here is a move that he can just pull out. He will have iframes during the entirety of it, up until like the last like 2-3 seconds, which you can just gut punch him back out of. But ideally, we're going to start the position where we last were in the room, and I'm going to push him the opposite direction, so I can get him away from those pylons. It's not a good start, so probably that's good. Yep, there it is. So if I dodge away to not get hit, do this now. And hopefully get him in this corner. This corner would be fantastic. So I can move a little bit and readjust myself. Good, he's stuck. So when he goes down to 2 HP bars, which is the dark blue HP bar, that's when we're going to have some fun with Hayashi. And I'm probably going to mess it up, because this is actually kind of a hard strat.
I'm just taking a detour to unlock the hidden weapon van. I'm going to sell a bunch of crap to it, and then we're going to come back later to buy a bunch of crap. Use all the bats, the expendable staff, and the shadow blade. There we go. 296, 470, which is 50 more than usual because I'm a dirty cheater. Don't worry about it. See you in Chapter 9, Weapon Van. Hopefully.
Have to hit him with a heavy attack right now if possible. Good stuff. Now we get to do the field heat. We usually don't against Hayashi in K2, but in OG2 we do. I have 2 hits on my baseball bat left, which I will have to hit Hayashi with as he stands up. Otherwise, he's going to punch me and knock me over. So hopefully we can get that off really quickly, because they feel if I do, this has been a perfect Hayashi. Because he gains a lot of hyper armor at this point, which is a pain. Because I hit the first hit instead of the second and the second and the third hit have more damage, but it didn't matter because Hayashi decided to be nice for once. I can pause anytime.
Okay, perfect. Let's pause. You're done with the fight?
Yes.
All right, I'm just opening the lockers. So let's go ahead and pause now then.
Cool.
All right. So for those of you who might not know, during these hotfix shows, we like to take a break every hour just so everybody, get up, stretch, get some water, anything they need to do. Right before we go to a break, just a few quick reminders. If you want to follow what Games Done Quick is up to, you can use exclamation links in Twitch chat for all things GDQ. As well, your subs, Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, and bits cheered on the GDQ channel do help support Games Done Quick Hotfix. So if you like any of the content, if you like these kind of races on What's Faster, any of our other regular shows, please consider subscribing or donating. It all helps, or not donating, cheering. It all helps very much. With that said, we'll be back in just a few minutes with the rest of the race. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Games Done Quick Hotfix. This is What's Faster. We're in the middle of our Yakuza 2 versus Yakuza 3 race, and we're ready to get right back into it. I'll give you a countdown from 5.
Cool. Sounds good.
All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Well, I'm just going and ending the chapter.
I'm
I was just in the middle of walking somewhere.
Yeah, in that break, folks, I broke my audio somehow, really badly. Now I'm going to a place that we consider literally one of the worst set pieces in any run, because this is Shangri-La and this place is pure evil. I was kind of hoping to get to this bit before the break, but unfortunately not. So if you remember Chapter 3, where I was using the brass knuckle heat action against enemies, I'll be doing that again. But this time there's more people that like to punch me, and guys that throw knives at me. And the sofa guys like to hit me. And that's not even the worst part, as you'll see at the end. I'm stuck. Please. Thank you. So, knuckles back on, down XX, and then I punch this guy. Good. So if it could go like this for the rest of Shangri-La, that'd be fantastic. Unfortunately, it probably won't. On the way through, I'm going to be grabbing probably 1 or 2 healing items just for safety. Shouldn't need them, but yeah, just for safety.
Hear me out, Froob. No healing items.
How do I get my heat back?
Why would you lose heat?
Shocking. True. First 2 floors, pretty good unless this last guy decides to hit me, which he can do. But the real bad... We tried! The real bad part of Shangri-La is the last room, which you'll see coming up in a second. Remember when I talked about the gun enemies earlier? Yep. Oh, he tried to swing at me from the other side, so I should be good now. Nice! Good Shangri-La! Why have you not given me this in any PB attempt in the last, 2 weeks?
The pedestrians are randomly spawning as I do this sort of escape the police section. If I touch anyone, I'll get caught by the cops, which is really slow. So that was fine. See, that looked really easy. Every once in a while, all the pedestrians just form a straight line wall, and there's just literally nothing you can do, and you get owned by it. You're just kind of praying for that not to happen.
Haru, you could have grabbed one of the enemies that's either got a gun or a knife. But instead, you've decided to curse me. I'm gonna die. I have no HP. I literally cannot see my HP bar. This great. Thanks. Karu, this is your fault. This is actually kind of Karu's fault. Oh my goodness. Shangri-La is being Shangri-La.
Oh, man. Well, I'm pushing Date. This is actually really easy to do on PC because they added a walk button. It's a little trickier on console, but we can just kind of shove Date along his path like this. And it'll save us, I don't know, maybe 5 seconds in the best case across this entire walk.
Remember when I said gun enemies run at 100 miles an hour and are the worst thing in this game? If you punch me, if you shoot me...
Don't do it. Yes, okay.
Wow, that actually missed. Right, with 1 gun enemy dead, the rest of this is usually fine. Karu's grabbed the knife guy. That's the biggest important thing about this fight, because that knife guy is a giant pain in the backside. Don't you leave!
Do you guys not Scandal Water that fight anymore?
No, I never have.
Oh, you never have. Okay.
I assume you don't... Stop stabbing me. I assume you don't Scandal Water Kurahashi?
I scanned... I guess I don't Scandal Water that fight anymore either, because I only pick up 2. I forgot my own route for that game. Never mind then. I used to Scandal Water Chapter 8.
There are only a couple of things I wanted to go well today. Shangri-La was one of them. That did not go well.
Good fast turn. Good pedestrians. If Date gets shoved so far off course by the pedestrians that he's just way off course, he'll actually do a really slow thing where he stops, turns back to his track, goes back to the track, turns again, and then starts running again. And sometimes the pedestrians can shove him out there without you having done anything wrong. It mostly happens on that street. So we're just trying to be a bit careful to make sure that Date stays as close to the optimal path as possible. That's why I'm sort of shoving him. I'm sort of like going left and right and being careful to make sure I shove him in a perfectly straight line. I can tell from the music that I finished this really fast. Those are some really good pushes. No slow turns, no stops. This is a really long masher, by the way. We're going to be mashing this text for like a whole minute. Love you, Yakuza 3. Next guy. This is the game introducing us to its major characters over an hour in.
Meanwhile, I'm attending a funeral. I'm about to get stabbed by a dude with a sword. It's for speed tech, I promise. Actually, it is.
All right, we're good. For now.
So, one of the hardest bits of speed tech in OG2 comes up in this chapter. I need to be in critical HP for that. So this lovely gentleman with the sword, who's a massive pain in the backside in K2 as well, he's going to hit me a couple of times while I try and take care of the enemy. Now, I want Daigo Dojima, my good friend, Daigo Dojima, to not hit this guy. Daigo. Thank you. So, I also want my heat to be as high as possible because, as you can see, when I get hit with my heat quite high, I don't actually get knocked over. Daigo. Not that man. Daigo. Daigo.
Please end
Thanks,
soon.
Daigo.
Shut up, Rikia. Okay, I'm done. So much mashing at the start of chapter 6.
One more. Okay, 2 more. Good. Okay, so at this point, I need to not die. Daigo's... Wow. Okay, Daigo. This guy behind me could kill me, which is a problem. Daigo, I'm gonna need your help. Thank you. No, are you kidding me? How did I miss? Right. Can't even blame Daigo this time. I'm having a bad time now. Can we go back to pre-reset where I was having a better time?
The tables have turned, Froob. This is my hour. It's your turn to get the horrible RNG.
OG2 had decided to be OG2 all of a sudden. Yes, slowly walk towards me, thank you. But unfortunately, this is necessary for the speed tech in this chapter. I could wait until the boss of this chapter, but that's not the best idea. One more time, please. Good lad. All right, Daigo, you deal with him. I'll deal with this guy. No game. Don't lock me onto the guy that Daigo's throwing. Thank you. Thanks, OG2. So I'm just gonna keep gut punching this guy to stop him from literally killing me again. And I'll go focus on whoever Daigo's not finishing off. How you doing, Daigo? Ah yes, you keep frying people. Please stop that. I don't want to use my heat because I want to keep my heat so that I have damage coming up. Daigo can drop kick enemies in that fight, specifically the sword guy, and if he drops kick the sword guy gets pushed so far away that he actually retaliates and attacks you. So usually Daigo's the problem in that fight. Not today.
Fun Yakuza 3 fact, by the way, since I'm here. The original PS3 version of the game is sort of notorious for how they cut tons of content for no reason from the English release, and one of the things that got cut was this sub-story that I'm sitting in. This sub-story is completely unavoidable. You have to see this cutscene. But in the PS3 version in English, they just cut it, so you save like 3 minutes here, or more like 1 minute. But you save a bunch of time when you go into that store from not having to watch that cutscene.
I think we're going to be going up against Kanda Shindo same time.
Well, no, I'm going into the park right now. I think you're going to get the Shindo before me.
I think? Yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
I'm
totally
going
are.
up to Majima right now, so...
I'm going to be in the set piece, though, probably, when you're fighting Shindo.
I'm probably going to be punching Shindo.
You're going to make me explain Shindo skip while also doing Kanda skip.
Sorry, I can do Shindo skip.
Yo, perfect RNG in the park.
Nice.
You love to see it. And then I did the wrong strat on Fujita, but whatever. Very good. Very, very good.
Luck tables have actually turned. You're getting the better luck now.
That was super sick.
So as I start this set piece, if I take one hit, I'm going to die. I would prefer not to do that, because it would put me out of crit HP. So, the fun fact, it's never happened to me before, so if it happens here, I'm going to be very, very upset. These enemies can throw their swords at you, and they can kill you. You'll know if it happens.
I'll have to leave call if it I don't know what to do.
Okay, they didn't throw swords, thank God. Apart from this guy, it's getting dangerously close to me. Please, no. Also, you're going to see me do the animation for the spin here for the first time. It's not going to count because the animation doesn't finish. Important, that. I'm not going to bother readjusting Shindo because my HP is too low. He will kill me. So there's going to be 3 phases to Shindo. Shindo skip, which is very different how K2 does Shindo skip, is going to happen at the end, so I'll describe that when I get there. But essentially, this man has one move that can kill me, but as long as we gut punch at the right time, he won't kill me. I've been misdoing the timing recently, so, you know. Good thing he doesn't do it. Could also mess up my combo like that. Here's our friends just standing here, by the way. Don't mind them. They're having a good time.
Grab that guy in the foot knowing he would kick me and stand up, because that just gets him to stand up faster than if I were to kill him with the heat action. Beautiful bats. We're mostly done with bats now.
We have to be very careful at the start of this next bit because Shindo starts below us, not in front of us. And he's very aggressive this phase. He just tried to dodge away and kill me. So, you know, thanks, Shindo. When we get down to a second HP bar, which is in 2 more hits, you will see that if there's that, we need to get his HP bar to a certain point in the next phase of the fight. That would be too much HP remaining. So I need less than that, and it's exceptionally precise down to like 3 punches to be able to skip an exceptionally long QTE. So the one thing that I actually want to go well today is messing it up literally sends you back to the very, very start of this fight. And doing
I just want to mention briefly that Konda is always in the same doors here. So I'm not just like a magic guessing wizard. It's the same 3 doors every time.
Shindo can randomly block any of your attacks, so the damage value, good, is a bit weird. That should be very good. No, no, please do it. Ah!
Oh, no.
It didn't do the heat attack.
Oh, no. Did it,
attack.
like, kick or something?
It just didn't do it. Oh, man. I think I was a bit too far away. Oh, well, we get to see the lawn cutscene. I had the perfect setup. That HP was actually perfect. Shindo skip is hard to do. It's one of the hardest things in this run. I'll lose about 30 seconds here. It's unfortunate, but...
For a long time, we knew about Shindo skip, but just explicitly didn't do it because it was considered too hard and not worth it. And now you do it, and it sucks. Anyway, this is Konda skip. Konda has some really, really, really long animations where he rips stuff off the walls and he does a feel the heat, and it's just really obnoxious. But because I have this extra shotgun usage, if I swing the bat at him at the start of the fight and then I chain these heat actions and shotguns, you can actually... There we go. That was a little sketchy because of how I knocked him off the bed. But you can see I have just the right amount of shotgun to skip literally all of that. Doesn't look very impressive in action, but that saves potentially multiple minutes over a fight where you don't use shotguns in that exact way.
You can still die to this fight now. If you do the heat move, you literally get rid of Shindo for that long cutscene. So I just want to make sure that obviously he dies here. Okay, good. We're fine now.
Oh my god, dude, the Bike Guardian. Why are you here? Why are you here, Bike Guardian? I don't think I had to go around him like that, but I just...
We're both just having some really bad luck.
I just nailed Konda skip. The rest of the run could suck for all I care. And it will. Chapter 8 coming soon.
Oh, no.
PC Chapter 8, all the guns are just going to fall straight through the floor.
Please no. I know I need that, but please no. You'd think this QTE... Oh, by the way, all QTEs, we already know which button to press in all these QTEs, by the way. They don't change. They're not random like the later games. This one is square to evade. You'd think it'd be X. It's not. I'm so glad I avoided that attack because I've been failing to avoid that recently. You would at least respawn in this fight, but Shindo, leave me alone. Get out of this run. Not happy. Very not happy. That's the one thing I wanted to go right. For reference to that, I just lost 2 minutes because I had my own splits up. I wanted to see what this run would be like with the new route, but yeah, I just lost 2 minutes to failing that skip. So, and the death. So much like certain parts of Yakuza 3 where you just run around, now I get to do the same. I get to do some filler stuff that follows on from the end of Yakuza 1 and the florist's son who doesn't know how relationships work.
It's not filler. Takeshi's a very important character.
I'm sorry, why can he not save his own marriage?
Are they married yet?
I guess fiancé, but yeah.
Right now, I'm reloading all the bullets in my guns so that I can use them to shoot even more people.
Sure.
Thank you, Kamiyama. Kiryu doesn't know how to do this himself. He needs Kamiyama to load the bullets.
It's so
I like to
weird.
think that Kiryu is just incredibly bad at everything in life that isn't punching. So for even like really basic tasks, he just like needs people to help him.
All those years he spent in prison in Yakuza 1, like he didn't know like how to do anything before that, and like he knew how to do stuff before that, but since he's come out, like, oh god, how do I use these things again? Frustrating.
This is a bit of a sketchy street for encounters. Hopefully, yeah, okay, that guy right there is one, but he's not gonna see me. So, yeah, we're good. There are a few other potential spawns in that street, and depending on which one, it can be, like, kind of a problem. We're now about to engage in my own long, dumb side content that I don't care about with Ibuki from the HLA.
Oh,
He's gonna abduct me against my will and send me halfway across the map.
He does that in Dead Souls as well. What a nice lad.
Yeah, love this guy. Welcome to Ibuki's dungeon.
It's a place to reform Yakuza into upstanding citizens. Honest.
Yep, this is where it happens.
But the whole justification was it was like a themed restaurant or something like that, which I doubt
Sure.
that.
I was right before this stream started, I was just like in Google Street View looking around Kabukicho, and there is a castle-looking building right around where this is. So the themed restaurant lore is real, maybe.
Huh. If I ever go to Japan, I'm going to go there. Just have a look around. Right.
Yeah, where Serena is, there is a place called Bunny Japan, and I think you can maybe guess what's going on there.
Good bunny cafe? Let's go. You can pet the bunnies while having some food. Nice.
Yeah, exactly.
But they do have cat cafes and stuff like that, so it wouldn't surprise me if they had
It's the bunny
cafes.
version of that.
Yeah.
Also, that park doesn't exist in that alley. I was really shocked to learn that. I felt betrayed. Like, that specifically. I was like, where's the park? What the hell is this? So many things are so accurate, and then they made up that park.
I'm gonna need future LAD games to have the giant dinosaur on top of the camera building, though.
Yeah. There's like a Godzilla head up there.
Just legally distinct Godzilla.
That has to exist in some sub-story, right? Have they gone like
Hopefully.
15 games without doing a Godzilla parody?
Probably. Although we could also do with the giant Gundam knockoff in Yokohama as well. For those wondering, I'm not going back to Sotenbori. We're going to be in Sotenbori for a long period of time. This is going to be the last time we're in Sotenbori. But the next chapter is really cool, especially if you haven't seen OG2 before.
Meanwhile, I'm going to fight Majima. This Majima fight will be much easier than last time I fought him, because now I've got 2 shotguns.
Guns good. I wish we had guns for Shangri-La in this run.
Guns in OG2.
Yeah, they're not great.
There's a reason why we don't use them in that game. They are so bad that usually what happens is when you try to shoot someone, Kiryu just fires straight into the floor. Like there's an animation of him taking the gun out, but it's not timed right with the actual firing of the gun. So the gun just shoots into the floor. It's completely worthless. The guns are horrible. I don't know how they screwed it up that bad. Then again, they're also completely lying about the Knuckles numbers, so Yakuza 2 is an interesting game.
And the thing is as well, like K2 follows the design of like OG2 to almost a fault at times, and the guns in K2 are usually okay, but the shotguns act like hunting rifles, which is really weird because K2 actually has hunting rifles. So bizarre. Although some of the Yakuza games are also weird. Yakuza 4's last shotgun shot doesn't exist.
Yeah, the shotgun bug in Yakuza 4 is curious, and it's just persisted through like every version of the game. They've never fixed it. Anyway, here's Majima. At the start of the fight, I'm actually going to try to do a melee combo to Majima because I need to get a teeny bit more damage out before I start shotgunning him, otherwise he won't die at the end of this fight. So we're going to do this, and now we ought to be good to just take out my expulsion. We're pretty much going to do the exact same thing we did to Konda. Note how I position myself between these heat actions, though. If he bounces off of a wall, I won't be allowed to do a heat action. So I want to make sure that my shots fire him away from walls. That's just a bit of a subtle nuance about this. And this will kill, and I'm left with 2 M1985 shots, which I'm going to use in the next chapter. That was pretty good.
Okay, that's a good fight. This fight where I used one of my spins, it used to be a spare backup spin here, but now that we have more spins, it's actually not too bad. All those enemies have tasers. If they hit you, they knock you down for like 10 seconds, so that's why I spun. Make sure I didn't go down. But I do want to end this fight with full heat, so just gut punches. Simple as that. Ooh, not bad. Good fight.
I was watching your run, and I didn't realize that I had started a cutscene in my own game, and I was just sitting there with the cutscene on for like a second.
You do that again?
No.
To make up for the 3 deaths I think I've had so far?
Oh, God.
It's been bad.
Was that Shangri-La, the top of
One Shangri-La, 1 funeral, and I think 1 other some place, I think. I can't remember. It's not
Another masher. Why are you calling me Rikia?
Are you near Blackjack yet or not?
I haven't done chapter 8 yet. This is the start.
Oh.
This is like
here we
Rikia
go.
calls you, and then you leave the control room, and then we item box everything, and then we go do it.
I just want you to get good Blackjack luck. For the both of us, please.
I think I want to get destroyed. I want to show people what this game is really about.
The real Yakuza free speedrun experience. For the bit that I'm doing right here, we got to go fight Satoshi because of the tattoo stuff. But you'll notice that we actually start in the position in K2 where you go to fight him. There's a reason for that, and you'll see it in the next chapter. But for now, thankfully, again, big difference to K2. You usually have to take care of, in K2, you have to take care of all 3 of them. In OG2, we just have to punch Satoshi in the face. So I'm gonna do that.
Right there, I just item boxed all my items that I don't need in this set piece. Specifically, though, it's really important that I item box the Expulsion S12 shotgun. Even though it's empty, it still sells for a ton of money, and we need that money to get back to Okinawa later in the game. And thankfully, the weapon van just lets you sell stuff directly out of the item box without having to have it in your inventory, which I didn't know about for a long time, but it's the only thing that makes this route possible at all. So, thank you, game. Anyway, time for a ridiculously impossible set piece.
I was gonna say, don't discard it. Only idiots discard it.
Don't discard it. Don't do that. Why are you not dead? That tree should have killed you.
Just Yakuza things. That tree should have killed you.
I say tree, but it's like a little potted plant. God, they're just... The trees have like Fortune from MGS2 magnetic fields around them. I keep trying to hit them into the tree, and they just sort of like swerve off to the side. Anyway, so here's the real problem with this set piece. We're going to be juggling tons of shoddy pistols. Lots of dudes have pistols, and we're going to be taking their guns and using them for things. The problem is the pistols love to clip out of bounds, especially on the PC version. The pistols are just extremely bad. I don't like to do this heat action here. It's going to make the gun warp somewhere weird. Yeah.
Also should be said, obviously the guns are grey and the entire concrete is grey. It's actually kind of hard to see them sometimes.
Yeah, look at that gun against the floor. It's pretty bad. So we've juggled 2 guns into this fight. This is Purple Shirt Guy coming out of the van now. Purple Shirt Guy is a bigger asshole than pretty much any boss in the entire game. And most bosses in other Yakuza games as well. Purple Shirt Guy is going to take 16 bullets plus a gun thrown at him. Hopefully none of his friends will eat the bullets. Because if we have 4 bullets exactly left over after this fight, it enables us to do some interesting stuff with the remaining 4. Good. Then we take this gun. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, yeah, that's what I meant. So we use 6. We've got 4 left. There's going to be a guy at the end of this alleyway, or at the end of this street. And if we shoot him without getting close to him, then we can actually kill him from all the way back here, and it'll warp us down the street and save us from walking. Just a really minor thing, but it's like a cool optimization you can do if you get lucky on Purple Shirt Guy.
Yeah, surprised it took us a while to figure that out.
Yeah, well, I don't think... We didn't used to juggle the guns into Purple Shirt Guy for a long time. I'm still not even convinced it's fast, but it sure is cool.
Yeah.
We're gonna do the same thing again here for Purple Shirt Guy 2. I can't snipe the furniture guy this time, though, because reasons. So we have to actually walk over here. That gun has a really high chance of falling out of bounds on the right. I have to kill that guy first, otherwise his gun will despawn. But there we go, we got it. So we should be good for Purple Shirt Guy 2 as well.
If you're just wondering real quick, we have to play Shogi in OG2. I paid a Yakuza 10,000 yen to let me cheat and flip the board. That's how you play Shogi.
Oh man, I was talking about crap and I talked over cheating at Shogi, the best part of the Yakuza 2.
I messed up the fight again. Dang it. This fight loses me 30 seconds. I can't do anything about it now. You dodged? Excuse? You can't do that. It's against the rules. This is like the hardest run to avoid, the hardest fight spawn to avoid in the entire run.
Oh, did you get the...
I did, yeah. I did the thing I did earlier where I didn't give it enough room before it got to me, so I walked too far.
That guy is such an asshole that for a long time we just assumed you couldn't skip him. We just assumed it was impossible, and if you saw him, you just took the fight. It turns out it is possible to run past him, it's just really, really hard.
Yeah. You can either do it via... It's a little easier to do it, like, going backwards like I tried to do there, because you kind of, like, just drag him far enough that you can run around him. There's a way to go past him just running at him, which I've done twice, and I have no idea how. Couldn't even tell you how.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not sure how you did that either. I don't think I've ever done that.
I managed it twice now. Like, that's the absurd thing. I don't know how. I genuinely do not.
Spicy. I might have to look into that. Don't touch me, thank you.
For this fight, I want to position myself between Kara and this guy so that Kara doesn't make him go into his aggro phase. Or grab him, because that's also going to mess me up. Or kick him. Kara. Thank you. Yes, guard. Good. Thank you, Kara. That's great.
Alright.
Yes, the guy that is getting gut punched.
We got one more gun juggle coming up, and this is by far the worst one. We have to juggle these kind of a long distance, and this is just impossible on PC. This is so bad. Let's see. I am keeping a close eye on that, okay? I'm being really deliberate to make sure these stay in the middle of the road. It looks like I'm going to get the guns. Hell yeah. Hopefully that one doesn't just vanish in this cutscene. That's happened to me before. Nope, it's there. We're good.
Nice.
That was... Well, it's not done yet, but I think this might be a legit perfect Chapter 8. Which never happens, and for it to happen on the broken version of the game. Interesting.
Was I not paying attention to that fight?
Put that away. Please don't block this. Thank you.
I just realized I have way more money than I ever should do.
Where'd the money come from?
It must have been the fight spawn. Like, I just wasn't paying attention after the fight. It must be after the fight spawn.
This is Lao. We're gonna do pretty much the same thing to Lao that we do to everyone. Shotgun that, And it turns out that that's the exact correct amount of damage to now he'll die to 15 revolver shots, and this skips all of Lau's phases and his field of heat and everything. That was an insanely good Chapter 8. That's like... I'm not running splits, but if I did, easy gold. I meant to save there and I didn't. Whoops, I'm gonna have to go out of my way a bit.
Oh no.
Yeah, I'm about to hijack the discussion here for a minute because it is now time to do blackjack, and I have to explain why blackjack is so terrible in this game.
Yeah.
So we have 1 revolver right now, but I want 13 revolvers, and the only way for me to do that is to make a whole lot of money. So I have 2 blackjack amulets in my bag right now. The 2 blackjack amulets each allow me to cheat at 5 hands of blackjack for a total of 10 guaranteed win hands, pretty much. You can lose to a draw, but whatever. The problem is that so anytime between hands 6 and 11, the dealer can offer you a high stakes bet, which is for more chips if you win it. We need to win the high stakes bet to have enough chips at the end of this to afford those guns. The problem is you cannot use a cheat item and accept the high stakes bet at the same time, which means that if he offers you the high stakes bet on bet number 6, then you've used up your first cheat item, but you cannot use the second one yet. So you're just forced to do that hand legit. And then if you lose that hand, then your run is dead. Also, because he can offer it to you on hand number 11, you can just run out of both cheat items. And then he offers you high stakes after they're both out. And that also kills your run. So hopefully neither of those things will happen to me. I'm currently on a 3-loss dry streak here, which is really nasty. There should only be about a 30% chance of your run dying to this. But just in case, I did go way out of my way there to make a save. Hopefully that ramble made any amount of sense. That's 1 hand. You can draw high stakes as well. Yeah. I think that would also kill your run. This is 3. There's a bunch of weird edge cases with draws that can make weird situations happen, but draws are really rare. So that's 5. Pray for no high stakes. Good, no high stakes. So we're not out of the woods yet. That's the first way the run can die, but it could still give us 11. This is 7. This is 8. High stakes on 9 is technically optimal because of reasons. Hey, high stakes on 9, let's go.
Nice, please no blackjack.
Easy game. That's perfect RNG. You actually want high stakes on 9 because then you can skip bet number 10. But if you get high stakes on 7 or 8, then you would have to re-input your bet, and it's a bit more menuing.
That's been having some horrifically bad blackjack RNG recently, so it's actually really nice to see Tap actually get some good blackjack RNG.
Yeah, geez, I've had 3 PB pace runs in a row die right there.
Like the 206, which is a time the full
I had like a 205 pace run die to that. Oh. It's just the pace was so insane. It was literally perfect RNG, perfect execution for the first like hour, and then blackjack got me. But anyway, that's why we had to clear up my inventory. I needed 20 platinum plates. This is where my money is going to come from.
You can't laugh at me. I didn't mess it up.
You didn't? Okay, good.
I didn't. Good. Per car first, please don't mess that up. Thank you. For those wondering what's going on here, I gotta do a bit of side stuff to get certain story triggers to start up, so I gotta go speak to people and like taxi to the right places.
This is the last mashing cutscene. After this, I'm free from mash hell.
You get to go hang out with the kids while I get the joys of Osaka Castle.
I get to go hang out with Defense Minister Tamiya. He's going to explain the plot to me. I'm in Chapter 9, the plot, Froob.
Oh, what a
It's time for the game to start making sense.
So the game Yakuza 3 kind of forgot that there's a story going on, and they literally just dump it on you in about 30 minutes.
We're like 75% of the way in the game, and it's time for them to actually introduce the story finally. Note my money, by the way. If you take one wrong taxi or forget really anything at all for the entire run, your run is just dead. Where you have 340 yen. Basically dirt poor. But just for a second, though. Because now I'm going to sell the platinum plates, and I'll come out of the store with 3 million yen.
I don't know why I decided to walk to Stigil there. I'm glad it didn't fully go there, but like, I don't go to Stigil ever again. Jeez. So for what's going on with me, I'm going to be doing a couple of fights here. It's very important I come out of every single one of these fights with full heat. So heat management is in full effect. This fight's fine because we just gut punch this guy. In K2, we have the saw. I'm going to kill him in 2 hits. So simple as that. Have so many spins. It's nice. I need to
Totally not suspicious guy in the fuchsia suit in the background. Definitely not an encounter.
Note to self, discard Knuckles in the next fight. You need the inventory space. Hey, this is... We're gonna go fight Kurokawa. In K2, we kind of realized in this bit, stabbing people fast. We don't have any kind of bladed weapon. But we do have 2 enemies in this fight. One Kurokawa and one friend of Kurokawa in a red jacket. They are both going to have 2 HP bars. And thankfully, because we're next to the river, we have access to a very quick and very easy heat attack that's just going to kill somebody outright. But not kill, because you'll see Kurokawa after. He climbs out the river. He's fine. Don't worry about it.
There's the expulsion selling out of the item box, and this is what the remainder of the game is going to look like, or at least a hint as to it. 13 revolvers.
Goodbye, Kurokawa. Goodbye, friend of Kurokawa. You can't behave like that when I'm gelling for PB attempts. What is this? Knuckles back on. Actually, I can keep those other ones for now, I think. Could you stop headbutting me? Thank you. So, we want to take care of the 2, yeah, those 2. That was actually a really good fight. Wow. That was actually a really good fight. Apart from getting like hit once there, that was really, really good. But we come out of that fight with full heat, which is important because that means the next fight's going to go fast as well. And we're going to go and grab everything from our locker keys. I don't know why I said to discard the Knuckles, because, oh my goodness, if I did that, that'd be very bad. That would actually be genuinely really bad. Need those. Potentially. So we're going to get our last 2 lockers, which we got the locker keys for earlier. One of them's another baseball bat, and the other one is another Scander water. Again, come back in about 15 minutes, and we'll finally explain what the Scander water is. But we go back to Senseicho one last time. This is an exclusive district, only available in OG2. Wasn't in any other Yakuza game, and we're going to go chase Sasaki around for a little bit, and avoid that lady there, because she's a very long sub-story.
Alright, Tommy is finally done explaining the plot. Here's what combat's gonna look like for the remainder of Yakuza 3. Oh, I just shot at nobody. I'm dumb.
Uh-oh.
Nah, it's fine. You can miss a lot of shots here before it starts to actually cause problems. We do have the number of bullets we have very tightly routed. Where's the last guy? He's on the ground. Yeah, so I missed 2 shots there, which is really sloppy, but that's okay.
How was he on the ground?
Basically, you just don't worry about how many bullets you have, and then at the end of the game, there's a certain fight where you sort of math out the correct numbers.
Yeah, there's a very easy start to it, that once you're past that one fight, everything, provided
it all
one of
just
the
kind of
bosses...
falls into place.
Yeah.
As long as you don't get a bullet eaten by Richardson 2 on world record pace. Something that would never happen.
I've certainly never seen it happen in the last week. So, for Asaki again, I would like to finish this with as much heat as possible. If I'm not full heat, that's actually not too bad. I'm 1 combo off of being full heat, which is good, because the next fight that we're going to get into is the start of the very long set-piece Osaka Castle. By having just 1 hit away from having full heat, I get to be able to go very, very fast at the start of that, which is why we've been trying to manage our heat during all of this. As you saw there with our upgrades, when we have full heat, any smaller enemies get knocked down to the ground and just take the essence of finisher, which is really, really strong and really fast.
That 30,000 charge for the taxi is why we had to sell the expulsion, by the way.
Haruka covers that charge at the start of Yakuza 3, but not the second time.
Yeah. Haruka buys you a one-way ticket to Kamurocho. She thinks you're gonna die, dude.
All right. So in K2, you have to take care of all the enemies before you take care of Pineda. In OG2, that's the reverse, which is nice. So I'm just going to punch him with a gut punch, then hit him on the floor. And that's that. Nice. Is winning tap by an exceptionally large margin, because I've had
I think at this point I'm probably winning.
Yeah, I think, like, even if I don't mess up Ryuji 3, which that's guaranteed to happen at this point, you are absolutely winning. If I didn't take the death in Shangri-La and the random death to the funeral, I think I'd have been a lot closer. I'd be out of those castle by now. But nah, I've only just started, so... the maze here, the nice thing is the layout is exactly the same as K2. Two big differences, no spear trap here, and also someone left the door open. But we have a slight problem. I need a free hand to be able to use this Gatling gun. So I'm going to equip one of my basketballs, my baseball bats, and I'm going to throw it. I know I'm British and we don't get American sports over here, but I do know what the difference is between a basketball and a baseball. Promise. Even though it looks like there's recoil here, there's no recoil. It just aim up, because the bullet drop. And when you're shooting these guys, just keep an eye out for where you threw that baseball bat. You might be able to see it. How did you not? Okay, how did you not? I'm spelling terribly right now. There is a spare healing item in here if you need it. You can skip. Oh, I actually forgot to mention this like several times. You can skip any bits of slowdown in this game by pressing start, which is really nice. And then to go fast here, we're going to put on the what the game calls the worst knuckles, even though they're exactly the same. So the 15 hit ones, because all of these spins I was mentioning earlier are for a specific boss. It's the boss of this chapter, and it's actually one of the hardest bosses in the run. With these extra knuckle spins, it's actually not too bad. This room has about, I want to say it's like 5 or 6 QTEs in it. As long as we push Pineda to the end here, it's always 2 circles. The ones on the side are triangle, and I think there's 1X somewhere in the room. Every enemy here can just obviously frustrate you. This is not going ideally. I didn't want to hit you. I don't want Pineda to go to different parts of the room, but I've just completely lost him at this point. I can push him this way as long as I don't go too far to the left, which is where he is now. Yeah, that's okay. If I just walk straight backwards, I shouldn't get a QTE. But this next boss is the hard boss, or one of the hardest bosses in this entire run.
Dude, we're going to be fighting tigers and Ricky Mask at the same time. The 2 hardest fights.
The RNG fight and the RNG fight. So these tigers can kill you in 1 hit at full HP. They're nasty. So we're going to do alternating combos and gut punches. I'm not happy my strong attack missed. These spins, if we can hit both tigers... You stop dodging, please. How are tigers dodging? If you can hit both of them at the same time with the spin, that's kind of nice. That stops you from needing too many. This is not the most ideal start. That's
this is bad. Okay, got him. Oh. You have to do specific things in this fight, and they are very at odds with how the AI behaves. So this is actually deceptively really hard and inconsistent fight. Thank you, Ricky. Thank you for not dodging that. Okay, could have been worse.
That's fine. Why? I do have stamina, so that's good. I'm gonna heal here, because I am very much in 1 hit kill range. So the first tiger has very little HP. We're going to leave him alone, and we're going to focus on the second tiger for now. We're going to try and do enough damage to skip a couple of field heats. But the charge attack where they just, like, run forward, that one, the one you saw me get hit by earlier, that's the nasty one. Nah, stop that. I don't appreciate being attacked. I'm actually going to knock him... I was going to try and knock him out of this with this spin because he's like 1 punch from death, which would have been a bit faster, but if I do this, this will stop the other one doing a specific move for a minute. I'm going to have to gut punch into spin to stop that again. If we go into the field of heat, it's fine. Yeah, I'd rather just end this fight because you can see there just how dangerous this fight is. Ay, ay, ay. So the whole point about us having the extra spins now is we could skip those last 2 field of heats, but unfortunately, those tigers almost murdered me twice. So I'm gonna take the safety route and just do the field of heats.
Weird encounter from off screen somewhere.
Oh,
didn't get me, but
that's good.
I heard him.
Gold. What?
Because it was a 6 split. How wasn't it a gold?
It was a really bad tiger fight. The Tigers have a really long cutscene. Not like as long as Shindo's, but like kind of the same vein of if you don't do the feel the heats, or if you get them to a certain HP threshold, they will do that. But if you spin the Tigers, that will stop like a certain animation from them doing it or something like that. It's kind of the usual Yakuza stuff of if we can interrupt certain things, we won't get long cutscenes.
Dude, it just occurred to me right now. I'm doing the credit card guys, and you're doing the idle stuff.
Yep.
We're both currently watching Haruka's nonsense in our respective games. We're both running around making Haruka do stuff.
Yeah, so my stuff is that Haruka is in this little story about where she's going to become an idol, which that's never going to happen, that's for sure.
No, that would never happen. But if it did, it would be the best game.
I would not agree. I would not disagree with that.
You would not agree?
No, I would not disagree with that. I like it.
Are you a Yakuza 5 hater? Do I have to ban you from the Speedrun Discord?
A gentle reminder, everyone who joins up the Speedrun Discord, you're in a contract to Speedrun Yakuza 5. It's guaranteed, I'm afraid.
Yeah. We're still waiting on like 290-ish people to submit runs. I'm sure they'll get around to it. It's only 6 hours of cutscenes. It's not that big of a deal.
The due date on that run is like 2090 or something. It's fine.
In my game, Haruka is selling stolen credit card information. It's pretty based.
And currently I'm about to jam out to some of the best music in this game that only occurs in this fight. Love this track, it's so good. Full combo, it's fine. He'll stand up in a second while I deal with this guy, so it's fine. Cool. Alright, so actually, despite the fact that we're doing a bunch of filler here, if you've played K2, you know that coming up next, we're supposed to help out the producer here by introducing him to the singer at Stigil. OG2 has exclusive speed tech where you can just say no to all of that, thanks to Haruka. We're just going to go back to the bar, and we're just going to say to Haruka, let's leave. We're just going to leave. Simple as that. Let me get the highway set piece. Ooh. I almost walked into that fight spawn. I have just stopped paying attention all of a sudden. But yeah, if we do the bottom option here, you'll see that we just start the next part of the story. Simple as that. So now I have the highway set piece. Couple of enemies, but very, very importantly in terms of speed tech here, we want to finish the final enemy with a heat attack, which is none of these three. Kill the guy with the gun. Make your life easier. Goodbye to you. I don't know why I did a full combo there, that was silly. Same. Doesn't matter if we finish these guys with heat attacks. The general rule of thumb is you don't want to finish fights with heat attacks in this game because you can't skip the slowdown. We need that slowdown for speed tech at the end of this. Make sure it says jump at the top right as well, otherwise you're going to spin, and if you're low on spins, that's going to be bad. I am very much not low on spins, so I get to have some fun in the finale. Well, hopefully not. Like a nice, clean finale where nothing bad goes wrong ever.
The Haruka nonsense continues. This is the worst part of the game. I'll give it to the Yakuza 3 haters, but just for this, like, 5-minute sequence. Selling the cop the fake credit card.
Take that, that's fine. Should have a full combo there. I get one more wave of bad guys next. I want to be on this side of the truck to go after a guy in particular that has a shotgun. Again, shotgun's not bad for damage against us, but he's going to interrupt my every combo. Much like, yeah, that. Yeah, just like that, to be honest.
These guys I don't shoot because if you take out a gun, they get scared and fall over, and it wastes a bunch of time.
Why would I do that? Oh. I was trying to be clever there. Oh, wow, that actually took him on the ground. That's fine. So our final enemy, you'll recognize this guy from earlier. The man in black is back. And if you've ever played K2 and you've seen that really long cutscene, you can actually skip it in OG2. It's not a super fancy skip. We just finished this fight with a heat attack. And it just skips that because it like overrides that cutscene with a different one. So it's kind of nice. We have to be very careful with his HP value and do the heat attack at the right time. But the nice thing is we can just mash circle at this point if we feel like we're not doing enough damage anyway. Or when he's standing up, we'll do the same thing as we did in the Majima fight and just redo the heat attack. You also get to see Cardboard Haruka in that rock.
Encounter.
Speaking of annoying fights, here we go again. The section of... Yeah, the section
Did you get the towel?
Yes, I did.
Okay. When is towelless?
I've actually been wondering about that. I
honestly missed that part of his run. Were you watching Ryu's 212 yesterday?
For most of it, but I missed that part, yeah.
Damn, I don't know. I wonder if he still gets the towel. I feel like that's the next thing to get cut out of the route.
Maybe. I could actually, I mean, I'm not winning this race, so I could potentially just try it out now. What's the worst that could happen?
I don't recommend it.
I know what it's like with me in live things, just, you know, testing stuff out just on a whim, but what if?
That fight doesn't work, even if you are practiced.
True.
Stupid Kurahashi.
So yeah, as alluded to, we finally get to use the Calming Towel and the Scandal Water that we picked up ages ago. The Calming Towel is going to reduce our heat to nothing, and the Scandal Water is going to create this weird effect which slows the entire world down. As you can see, we've got a couple of members of the Jingwon Mafia, and we have Kurahashi, and of course you would behave in a run like this.
Sorry, I just had to call it out. Look at that walk.
Yep. This is actually a pretty good walk. Yeah, you've got the animation walk. I am just walking Kurahashi around the room. You go fast in this bit with the Jingwon Mafia not interrupting you like this. You don't want to go up those stairs over there at the start of the fight. Otherwise, just take Kurahashi around the room. It doesn't matter.
It should probably be mentioned. Or did you mention it? What the towel even does?
No. I forgot.
Explain towel. I'm backseating your commentary.
Towel reduces your heat to nothing, and you cannot generate any more heat. Kurahashi, being a smaller enemy, would get knocked down if we had full heat, although you now lose a bit of damage because we don't have full heat, and we also lose the ability to do the Essence of Finisher on him, but that could also make things a little rough, considering things could go wrong, but yeah, we just walk him around the room. What the Calming Towel does. Now I discard the Calming Towel because I don't need it anymore. Although we've had a couple of thoughts about having the Calming Towel for maybe the next 1 or 2 fights. I don't mind it for the next fight, but I want my heat for the fight after that, so I usually discard it at this point. Which, by discard, I mean I just gotta put it back in my inventory because that's quicker. I don't know why I was discarding it, it just wastes time. It's not like inventory space is a problem at this point.
Currently in the midst of the last of the filler. I have to go chase Ayako around.
That girl has way more stamina than Kiryu does, as you will see.
Yeah, I mean, the game cheats for her. She has a stamina bar in the corner, but once her stamina bar runs out, normally you just die, but it just deletes the stamina bar so she can keep running. Game's just like, nothing to see here. Don't worry about that. This is a bit weird, though. So the thing about this chase that I'm about to do is that it sort of works the same way as the Date pushes I was doing back in Chapter 6. If she gets too far off of the rail she's trying to follow, she will actually come to a complete stop in the middle of the high-speed chase, slowly turn around, walk back to where she wants to be, and then continue the chase. And somehow, despite that, even though you'll literally be standing right next to her, it doesn't count as you catching her. It's just slow. You just lose time if it happens. And it'll be caused by just a bunch of pedestrians being in the wrong spots. So hopefully it doesn't happen. She's usually pretty lenient, but it totally happened in the middle of a PB the other day, which is just unbelievably epic.
Fun
Lost
fact,
10
it's
seconds
also...
to Ayako just standing there for no reason.
Yeah, the reason for that is it's actually exceptionally easy to game over in that chase. Like, if you get like even slightly away from her, it will just game over you. So you do actually genuinely have to be careful.
That slop was my fault. I'll admit to that. I just bonked right into someone.
Speaking of being careful, I kind of ran past the soft lock point without caring.
Oh, man. Wait, what's the soft lock point in chapter 14?
The one where you go from Serena up to Docomo's. It's always that scene
Does that
transition.
happen to
seems to be
you?
the one. Yes.
Huh.
Yep. It's happened to me there. It's also happened to me when we go through that way in chapter 6 as well.
It happens to me... Oh, you mean like next to the bowling alley?
No, the one from Serena going upwards. Where the exact screen where...
Like where it happens in 8?
Yes.
That's
yeah,
only
exactly
ever
the
happened to
same
me in
where
8.
I've had it 8 and 14, and don't forget the first
Well,
one I ever had.
you've got a
certain
solid state cheat machine, so...
My PS3 is super slim.
It's your punishment for bringing this cursed technology to OG2.
Hey, that was Streetback Guy.
He doesn't even play the game. You can't blame Streetback Guy.
He put the SSD in his PS3.
That's Dead Souls. That's different.
Well, I had to follow his lead because that saved 35 minutes.
I mean, you don't have to save 35 minutes.
Do you want to play Dead Souls for 35 more minutes?
I don't want to play it at all.
Exactly. It was a necessary evil.
Yeah, look in the corner.
We're both just
Health
in
bar's
bits
gone.
where nothing is happening.
Yeah, well, I'm chasing Ayako. This is the most exciting of all content.
It's better than what I'm doing.
Look
I'm
at this
leading
like
Daigo
8-car
to
pile up in the middle of the street. What even happened here?
As I found out, if you go the wrong way in that 8-car pile up, you game over.
Yeah, don't do that.
It's so bad. Why does that game over you? There's like one chase in Yakuza 5 that also does the same. You get like 2 chases in the entire Yakuza 3. I forgot the Babel one. You get like 3 chases in Yakuza 5, and one of them is kind of the same. It's ridiculous. But yeah, is it only 3 chases in 5? Because there's the one in Kiryu's part.
The one in Kiryu's part, the Baba chase.
And then there was one more I just thought of that I can't remember.
What's the third?
Shinada.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Shinada Chapter 2, right. Baseball
yeah,
Man.
That one game overs. Yeah. Thanks, Baseball Man.
That's a funny one, because when you do that on easy, just like the normal damage attrition is high enough that it actually one cycles himself and you don't have to touch him.
Yakuza 5 might be our longest speedrun, but it also has like some really cool tech. We walked through walls at one point.
Incredibly sick game.
If we could keep that infinite ammo fire extinguisher, it would have been so good.
I just love that that's even a glitch you can do.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm finally actually returning to some content here. I am finally done with the filler, sort of.
Time to go.
We're going to shoot Joji Fuma, his name is. We're going to go shoot him. He takes 18 bullets. The trick is we have to shoot the 3 out of one gun, then shoot the 15 out of a different gun. Otherwise, it'll cause the combo to break, and he'll go into his field. It'll go into his second phase, and it causes a long cutscene to happen. There's a thing with guns where sometimes they also just eat bullets. I hope he doesn't eat a bullet here, but it's kind of rare. So even though it looks like, nothing is happening, there is actually the potential for him to break out of this and screw me over still. Good.
Considering the second breakpoint is soon, when you're done with Joji, I can pause because I'm just running through camera shot.
Yeah, if you want to.
I think I'm doing the host job instead. It's Yakuza takeover time.
This is now my stream.
Exactly. It's time to have a 6-hour-long discussion on why Yakuza 5 is the best speedrun. It has a lot of walking in it. You go to Tsukumino in a dream twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just do the Batman fight real quick, so I just got there. So who would like to punch you and your friends? Oh wow, I didn't drop that combo for once. I notoriously dropped that combo for some reason. I don't know why. Anyway, I'm good to pause whenever.
One sec.
Oh, I didn't realize there's dialogue stopping you from going back into Batman. Cool.
Okay, yeah, sure. I'm pausing.
Okay, I'm paused.
All right, perfect. Yeah, so like I kind of was saying earlier, we just like to take a break every hour just so we can, let everybody get up, take a quick break, get some water, anything like that. So we'll be back in just a few minutes here with the rest of the runs. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Games Done Quick Hotfix. This is what... nope. All right. Coming into the third half, I can't speak. This is just classic me. What's Faster is what the show is called. We're in the middle of... Well, we're nearing the end of Yakuza 2 versus Yakuza 3. Are both of you ready to go?
Yep.
All right, cool, because the sooner you two get going, the sooner I can stop flubbing over my words. From 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Instantly cutscene.
Paul's notoriously close to a scene transition. I would have laughed if I soft locked there.
Oh,
Yeah. Come back from the break, instant game crash.
So, well, that's that. Thanks for having me. So remember earlier with the Documento fight when I said all Documento fights are bad? Here's another one. I really hope this guy next to me picks up the bench because then he doesn't do anything. But I don't like this man in this fight. That's why I have heat so I can get rid of him in this fight. And I want to hopefully have these two stay in this corner, but he's going to interrupt me because he's not a nice person, and I'm just going to do this to him.
This is my second set of 3 guns.
Are you aggroed? You are. That's not great. So this guy is aggroed. You can tell because he's not flinching like the guy behind him, which... it works out. It's fine. But essentially, any of those larger enemies at this point can aggro, and we really do not want to let them be alive. I guess I could still get the Chapter 15 soft lock. That's happened before.
Normal things happening on stream once again. Yeet. Here's Tamashiro 2. Tamashiro 1 is probably the hardest casual boss in the game. Tamashiro 2 is gonna die in like 8 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Why am I even counting? It's 15. See ya.
Oh. Alright, you'll come down this way. Thank you. How did that not prioritize the ground heat move when you were on the ground? Curious. Oh, you're the one that has HP. That sucks. You're the one I wanted to punch. Okay, so the good thing is I'm keeping note of my XP value at the top left side of the screen. I have 67 at this point, which is pretty much exactly what we want for the finale. We actually want 65, so I've got way more than I need. That's thanks to a couple of, obviously, the extra fights we got into during the run. We'll be doing one last big ability upgrade in the finale. But Chapter 15 that I'm going into has essentially nothing. We actually have a little bit of speed tech with Exclusive OG2, but other than that, just, yeah, not much happens. Just walk around with Daigo for a bit.
Alright, meanwhile, I'm actually walking to go to my finale set piece right now. So I've just been sort of shooting without paying too close attention to my bullets. I think I've wasted 2 shots so far. The finale of this game has something that we call the gun math PhD. Basically, if we get the correct numbers of bullets remaining on the correct equipped guns at the right time in this hospital, then all of the shots should line up with all of the enemies for the remainder of the set piece. The numbers that you look for are 14, 4, 15 coming out of the first fight. So basically you'll see it, but once we get into this hospital, the hospital lobby has tons of dudes who all die in 1 bullet. And basically we just shoot people until our guns have those numbers on them, and then we punch the remainder. And then from there, it should be perfect, but it does require a little bit of focus to not just like totally screw up all the math. And of course, if you screw up the math, you instantly lose like 30 seconds because it just sort of throws everything out of alignment. One more bullet. Okay, so we equip the third set. Then, like I said, we do 1, then we do 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Put this gun away. If you play the game perfectly, then there should be... that's actually interesting. Why is there only 3 guys? Come on, you.
What? Is one hiding in the crowd?
No. I think I have everything correct. I didn't shoot an extra
4.
guy there, did I? But whatever. Anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we reload this gun back up to 15. We do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so now we're at 14, 5, or 14, 10, 15. The 10 we're going to be using at the end of this. The 14 on the D-pad left is for the lobby. So it turns out that there's 3 enemies we have to kill in the lobby, and they all take exactly 14 bullets total. There's 2 furniture blockers, and they're 3 each. And then, what does that leave us with? 8? Yeah, math, 8. Got math PhD, subtraction. And then the remaining 8 is for the Hakuho captain. So there's the first furniture guy. You sort of have to sneak past these dudes. They have a large hitbox that stays up after their death. All of these enemies can just be ignored. Here's our second guy, 1, 2, 3. So we have 8 left. Watch what happens to the Hakuho captain. He's all the way over there, but with a bit of a setup in this corner. Kiryu, best shot in the world, can just snipe him with the revolver from all the way back here. And you can see that that was the exact correct amount of bullets on that gun. Nobody here's dying, by the way. Cosmic Kiryu has never killed anyone.
Rubber bullets.
Yep. Are you doing that sub-story right now or something?
Going with Dase.
Nice.
Had the game soft lock here once before, really hoping that doesn't happen.
This guy's not mandatory, but if I don't kill him, he'll be an incredibly obnoxious dude, so he's gotta go. This guy with the shotgun is just gonna not shoot me because he's a homie. Hello, everybody. I'm just coming through, don't mind me. There's gonna be 2 enemies in this elevator. They each take 2 bullets from the unused guns. That brings this down to 11. Go. So we're now at 0, 10, 11. Note that you don't actually see these numbers anywhere. You just sort of are expected to gauge based on this meaningless green bar how many bullets you have. But I happen to know that that's correct.
Just quickly, I'm starting my finale, and because OG2 doesn't have a full 3D map of Kamurocho, we have like 5 smaller fights, and each one of them is more evil than the last. So I'm going to scan the water this one, because I don't want to deal with half of these Jingwon Mafia, to be honest. Thank you for pushing that man over, I appreciate it.
Alright, here's CIA operative, also known as Richardson 2. He takes 11, that's why we've got 11. Please don't eat a bullet. Thank you for not eating a bullet.
My next fight, there are 3 enemies, a knife guy, a baton guy, and a guy without any weapons. That's the order we want to take them down in. Watch out for the baton guy, he can kill you in a combo. I think we'd kill him first, but no, the knife guy just goes down like that. He's trying it, go away. If baton guy is down for a long time, you can also just focus on the other guy, but the other guy has an aggro state, which is why we leave him till last.
Those guys took exactly 10, which is why we had 10 after the lobby. We take these 2 pistols, we reload our final set of 3 revolvers. We are set for Richardson 3, or Albert Wesker 3, or that guy who says roof, whatever you want to call him. Let's do it. This guy is going to take all 10 shots from both shoddy pistols. Also, I have to throw both shoddy pistols at him. Also, he takes a bunch of bullets after that. But if all of that connects and he doesn't eat anything, then we'll have the exact correct number of bullets for whatchamacallit, the elevator after this. That was good. He was in the corner where he eats bullets, but he didn't do it. He was in the designated bullet eating corner. I happen to know that Mine takes 7 plus 15, so I'm going to use 8 out of this and then the remainder of D-pad left. And I use the bullets in this order just because it makes the enemies behave a bit nicer. Taking guns out tends to scare them for some reason. They see the gun and they get scared. I don't understand it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
What are you doing?
1, 2, 3. Cool. 7, 15. Perfect. Gun math PhD.
That's fine. Wait. Ah, I pressed triangle. What?
桐生さん、これがあなたの最後の戦いです。思いっきり来てください。言われなくても遠慮はしねえ。とことんやってやるぜ。行くぞ。ヒリア！
Sorry, Mine, but I'm not even going to respect you enough to put you on screen. You can die over there. Time for me is coming up in a second. And that's time. Done. GG. Rip Mine.
Nice. GG.
GG.
That was like a... It's like a 210, right? That's really good, actually.
Yeah, it's like a 210 something. Which is actually pretty solid for PC.
Like 210, maybe just like a 210-46. There it is.
It's gonna sound weird. I want to get shot. This guy keeps missing. Like, the one time in the run where I do actually want to get shot at least once by this guy, and he's missed like twice. But he's actually... Okay. I'm gonna give somebody else a chance of actually shooting me. We need low HP strats after, not the fight after this one, the one after that. So we have to be a little careful. I also don't want to use up all of my heat here, but I am doing, because I'm playing pretty badly. It's fine. Do me a favor, dude. Shoot me. So most of these enemies aren't going down to gut punches, because I don't have full heat, and then when I do get full heat, beautiful, we just knock them to the ground, because they're all smaller enemies. One more would be great. Thank you. Now you go away. I should... I now don't have enough heat for the next bit. Especially not when that happens. I guess we just go... I still have that town, right? Yeah, I do. Heck yeah, let's do this. Oh, right, I have to discard you, don't I? I've got too many brass knuckles. We're going to use this knife. 5 of these enemies, 3 of them have 1 HP bar, 2 of them have 2 HP bars. All the 2 HP bars go into that aggro state. We're going to stab the rest. Because knife, good. As you'll see right here. One of the upgrades I got whilst Tap was doing the finale basically allows me to survive a killing blow when I have no HP. This will kill me. Cool. Excellent. Cool. This is great. This is wonderful. Cool. This is absolutely fantastic. Now I have to start that again. I'm just going to shut up and concentrate.
Oh no, dude, the 3-hit combo into the grab. So you didn't have heat. That sucks. Anyway, on my screen, Kiryu just got stabbed, and I'm sure that's probably fatal. This is the last time we'll be seeing the Dragon of Dojima in a video game.
Yeah, I don't think anybody would be able to survive that, so...
I know I wouldn't.
Another one. That's not wrong. I would not be able to.
Whoa, don't use that word. We're skipping you, cutscene. Goodbye, Hamazaki. Are you just gonna take the damage on Man in Black then?
Yes.
Yeah, this the finale of Yakuza 2, it's really rough. You need to be in critical HP for all the final bosses, but getting through these guys in particular, it's a really delicate balancing act of like trying to go fast and using your heat to speed up while also trying to take damage, but not so much damage that you die. And it's just like, it's very easy to screw up even if you don't necessarily do anything wrong. It comes down to even like the order you kill these guys in, because they all have different amounts of health. And if you spread the damage out too far, then they'll become aggro, and then they'll just tank all of your hits and become horrible nightmare monsters. Sort of the entire back half of Yakuza 2 is very, very focused on how you can maintain your heat. And making sure you conserve it in the right places versus using it in the right spots. So like right now, Froob has some aggro guys to deal with. He's just gonna spin them. That's probably the right play. Yo, that double? Damn, that ending was kind of sick. Not quite crit health though, so he's gonna take a bit more from the Man in Black, just intentionally. Okay, cool. So if you remember back in Shindo Skip, back in Chapter 9, Froob got the Froob wanted critical HP for that so that he could use a certain heat action that only works when you have crit. Here it's because he wants to use that piece of equipment there, the Champion Ring. And the Champion's Ring doubles your damage when you're in critical health. He's also been holding on to 2 Patriarch Bats the entire game, and the Patriarch Bat just happens to be the best weapon in the entire game. So best weapon in the entire game, plus extra damage upgrade, plus Champion's Ring. Yeah, you can probably see what this is doing. He
tried it.
Did he try it? Oh my god. I'm a bit behind, so I haven't seen him do it yet. But yeah, that damage is pretty insane.
This finale's been garbage. Now for the hard parts.
Yeah, it is the payback ring.
Yeah.
What is this game?
Because he hit me twice as well, my bat just like exploded. Like I actually have to like menu for this bat for Daydream. I would have done it at some point anyway, but so because we survived with that upgrade via killing blokes we're in our heat, we're going to be doing this to a couple of Daydream Kim's QTEs. Nice, that's good. Daydream Kim can run as fast as Ayako can in this bit, if you saw it in the Yakuza free run earlier. So we do normally just a light attack to hopefully bait him out to do this. On the 3rd attempt, we're going to actually pass it, and then I'm going to do the QT afterwards. This won't be enough to kill him, but that's fine.
It's a pretty good Daijin Kim.
Yeah, I'll just be able to just hit him afterwards, it's fine. Like, we lose a bit of time because of the feel the heat here. But that's fine, he's already gone. This man's not surviving this hit. And then we get to Ryuji 3, which I have not done properly in about a month, and it's really infuriating, so this will probably be the time.
GL Gamer.
If ever there was a time, it was now.
Ryuji 3 has a really, really janky infinite combo that you attempt to do to him. You can't just input the attacks. There's sort of like a slight delay, and like you have to put them into it at the start by doing a certain setup, and it's just very. Ryuji 3 is the most chokeable boss, maybe ever. Let's see how this goes.
Of course.
Did you get it? Oh my god! Yeah, there it is.
I called it.
So you time the gut punches right, and then you can sort of gut punch between his uppercuts.
This is time,
like
by the way. Time. Garbage. Garbage.
Sub 220 garbage though. Underestimate.
Garbage. Not happy. GG.
Yeah, GG Froob.
Oh, I better skip this cutscene, otherwise you will get the VOD muted. Thanks, Crazy Ken.
Oh, Crazy
you all,
Ken's
but-
so good though.
Crazy Ken is so good.
He's so
but
crazy.
I
Yeah,
can
sorry-
do nothing
sorry
but
for-
apologize.
No, I had to go quiet there because I had to concentrate. That death in the finale was that was terrible. That was some absolutely.
You hate to see it.
Yeah.
You did manage to turn it around though, and still complete the run. So
Yeah, I'm happy with how Ryuji 3 went, but that's it. That's it.
So obviously, you two are running these games. Do you have a preferred Yakuza in the series?
For me, it is actually 2. I am the OG2 guy in the community.
Yep. For me, it basically changes depending on like what I enjoy running at the time. Obviously, with GDQ last year, it was LAD. I still have a fondancy for LAD, but I would say probably like the one I enjoy the most is probably K2.
Okay.
Good
Both
taste.
OG2 and K2 are very, very good runs. They're very good fun. But all the Yakuza runs are also very good runs. There's pretty much something for everybody. If you wanna get into Yakuza speedrunning, we have a speedrun Discord. You can ask the runners as well. Everyone's really friendly and able to help out if you have like any questions about any of the runs. So
Damn, the prime opportunity to sell out.
I actually remembered this time.
Do you have any shout-outs y'all want to give or anything like that? Anything you want to talk about before we go to break?
Not from me.
Shout outs Yarts.
Yeah, shout out to Yachts.
Alright.
Get behind.
Thank you both so much. I know a lot of things went wrong. I'm so sorry. I swear.
It went bad for both of us, at least.
Yeah. I guess I tried to share my bad RNG around, even though I wasn't trying to. But thank you both so much. It was a great display. We do have another show coming up. It's going to be Grudge Match, so we're going to take a quick break and then we'll be back with Grudge Match.
Want a grudge match OG2 after this.